We
And
didn't
that's the
disagree
whole.
with that.
And so then you agree with TK Kirkland's argument.
No,
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 But
because that's
I
not what
just
he
told.
said.
that's
Nobody.
not what.
If somebody, what matters is what happened. What is your situation? That's what matters more.
So watch
That
when there's
matters
someone
more.
3 o'clock in the middle of the night, go knock on the door.
Can,
And
wait,
just
can
try
you
to
address that part though?
go
Wait,
go
no.
find out.
Can you address that? Can you address what I'm saying? I'm
I'm
saying
not
that.
gonna
Of
listen.
course not. Anybody
Of
knocks on
course,
my
no,
door
what
at
I'm trying
3
to
a.m.,
say
I'm not
is
opening
a
it.
single mom is like that in a way, and a single mom is like that where I'm a bro.
Hold
This
up,
conversation, bro. This is really hard when we do this, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Drop a like, leave a comment, let me know you're in here. We finna have fun tonight.
Right now, we were just gonna do some like quick introductions. Logix, go ahead and introduce yourself really quick.
All right, y'all. What's good? My name Logix. Also a content creator on YouTube. I talk about like my channel just revolves around like debunking nonsense and bullshit because I feel like today a lot of people fall victim to false narratives, misinformation, conspiracy theories. So I spend a lot of my time like basically debunking just wrong thoughts to have. You know what I'm saying? So not necessarily telling you what to think, but just telling you how to apply critical thinking into what you're looking at so you can be more informed about the decisions you make throughout life. So
Most definitely, and that's something that is lacking these days. But Czar, do us a favor and introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, so my name is Czar of Dating. I go by Czar Danya, and I've been in the dating realm for about 2 years now. I started on social media 2 years ago. It started with TikTok, and the only thing I ever talked about was women. Growing up my entire life, the psychology of women, going through various rejections, figuring out how to put the most difficult piece together, which was the female mind. And I finally figured it out after over 17 years of dating experience, reading countless psychology books and putting things through practice, where everything just started to connect. And now I can teach other men the knowledge that I know and the value that I hold dearly to me.
Interesting. Okay. That's what's up, man. Well, look, fellas, thank you so much for joining. So I had a conversation with Shape before, obviously all of this went down, and this is going to be a respectful debate. We're going to stick to the topic. No ad hominems, no attacks. Obviously, we don't know you guys well enough to attack you in the first place, but
Right,
just wanted to put that out there.
right,
We
right,
just
right,
most
right.
definitely going to keep it respectful. And just because a couple of people have, a difference in opinions, that doesn't mean we can't have a civil conversation.
Absolutely.
So, what I would like to do, so if you guys in the chat, if you aren't aware, by the way, sorry, this is live. I should have told you that beforehand. My apologies. But
It's all good.
yeah, so everybody in the chat, we are going to be debating the TK Kirkland clip that was released like maybe a week ago or so, where he said a man taking care of another man's child is a mental illness. I want to do like maybe like 2 minutes each worth of like an opening statement, and I want to hear you guys' opinions on this subject. And Shape and Czar, since you guys are guests, I'm going to let you guys go first, and I'm going to start the clock. So whichever one of you guys wants to go first with your opening statement,
I'll go first.
go ahead.
Take
I
it
don't,
away.
I don't, I don't think, I don't think I got 2 minutes worth of this. I think it's really quite simple. I mean, it's a moral issue. I think, I believe strongly in the phrase "never deny a man his pain." Um, the father of a child, he is responsible for that child, and I think it's inappropriate for me as let's say, a third party to come in and try to take his place. One, I would never be able to fully take his place, because I'm not the biological father of the child. And two, the reason why I look at it as a mental illness, and maybe that was a strong word from TK Kirkland, but this obsession for cleaning up other men's mess, right? The idea that a man made a mess and he's trying to clean up after her, to me, it goes into this line of a man that is pursuing a woman and not his purpose, right? If I'm chasing a woman and I want to change her life and I want to improve her life, you know, um, to me, I'm out of order. right? I think my highest priority as a man should be my purpose. The book I was talking about before, Way of a Superior Man, chapter 7, it talks about how your purpose comes before your woman. And I believe that's strong. I think it's a very moral standpoint, because what we see nowadays is just men having simp behavior where they'll, oh, I'll take care of your kids, I'll do this. And deep down inside, that man, he just wants intimacy. He wants to be with a woman. You know what I'm saying? So he's offering provision to her children, leadership. Is disingenuous often. We know as men, we're weak to the flesh. We desire women, but I think the right way to deal with that kind of energy is to transmute it and put it towards your goals. So I just think in general, simping after women, um, it's a bad idea. And also, like I said, denying a man his pain. If you're a man and you can't take care of your own responsibilities, unfortunately, and this is a sad truth, your kids deserve to feel that, right? They deserve to suffer because of that.
All right,
Your mistakes. Your kids are going to deserve something because of your mistakes. Go ahead.
all right. You hit the 2 minute mark.
There you go.
All right, appreciate you. All right, Czar, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so my whole issue with taking care of another man's seed is there's no way you can possibly discipline children that aren't yours. How many kids have you grown around or adults that you know now that hate their stepfathers or hate
Mm,
their mother's boyfriends? I rarely have I ever met a guy or a girl that actually respects their stepfathers, that actually respects their mother's boyfriend.
mm,
Rarely do I ever meet those people. And if you try disciplining another woman's child, all they have to say is, well, you're not my father. And what are you going to do then? Are you going to hit the kid? Because technically they're right. You're not their father. But if it was my children, if it was my child, I'm going to discipline them any way I want, especially if they talk back to me. There's going to be punishment for that. But I believe that beta males always get the scraps from these types of women because they've been programmed to believe that they're the ones that stepped up. They're the stepfathers that stepped up. Now, I've seen relationships work if a guy has children that aren't the woman's and she has children that aren't the guy's and they're at a certain age, they can actually coincide. They can be in a relationship because they're at that point where they don't really need to depend on each other to look after the children. But every single good quality man, he wants his own seed. He wants to have his own children. He wants to invest in his own children. He wants to invest his resources in his own seed. To me, that's very powerful because you truly care about that child. I could never care about a child that isn't mine. That's facts. I couldn't do it.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you, man. Logix, you wanna go up?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So wait, real quick before I even start, question for you guys. Wait, time out. Do you guys even refer to yourself as like red pillars per se?
I would say red pill
Yeah.
adjacent for me. I
Okay.
don't. Yeah, because I don't want to brand myself specifically red pill. I think the content niche is red pill for YouTube. But
Sure.
as an individual, I'm a free thinker. So
Okay. Wait, same with you, Sar?
Yeah, I don't agree with 100% of everything they talk about, and I think it's
Mhm.
gotten to a certain point where it's totally asinine now. It's
yeah.
completely out of character with the content they create, and it's usually the same crap that they regurgitate, and they know how to attack men's insecurities,
Mhm.
where it brings in the views, it brings in the money, but you always see videos of guys post the red pill community. They always make videos why you should stay single, why you should always remain single. And what kind of hope is that for a guy who's trying to learn the game? There is no
Gotcha.
hope.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious because one aspect of this that really bothered me was obviously that TK called this a mental illness. And I know a lot of guys on like the red pill side, they don't necessarily believe in mental illness. So when
Mm,
people constantly refer to something as a mental illness, I feel like they're using it as a crutch. And I'm not a fan of that. By the way, I already started my 2 minutes. So this is my opening statement. So obviously, I wholeheartedly disagree with what TK said, because he said it's a mental illness. No man should take care of another man's child. I think at the end of the day, it's not an illness; it's a decision, and it's a grown man. If you are in love with a woman and you want to be with this woman and you are willing to take care of her and her children, that is a grown decision that you decided to make at the end of the day. And I think that we should not be condemning those individuals that, step up and take care of another man's child. I mean, and also I think that this situation is case by case. And I don't want to put words in Logic's mouth, but I think he will agree with me when I say, when we disagree with this topic, we are not necessarily trying to tell men to go after single mothers. That's not what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of hardships. There's a lot of cons that are going to come along with that, opposed to you dating a woman that doesn't have any children. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to make it known that that's not what we're trying to tell men. But also at the end of the day, if somebody wants to do that, I think that's totally fine. Logics.
Yeah, so I think my biggest contention with this argument is that in one breath, the people that have the ideology that you shouldn't take care of another man's kids and they're not yours and it's somebody else's responsibility will be the same people that say that single motherhood is bad and we should try to prevent it at all costs and whatnot. And so you can't have it both ways, especially if you agree statistically that kids with single moms, they turn out to be worse in life. But there's some arguments as to why. It's a ton of factors, but we do know that that's a common thread with single motherhood, that some kids may have behavioral issues, going to jail or whatnot, all that stuff. Now, like I said, there's other reasons that can happen, but if you acknowledge that and then say, well, ain't no man out here should take care of another man's kid, all this is doing is just ruining the future of everybody. The kid, the parents, step parents, society. If you want society to be broken, if you want more broken homes, then you're attributing to that. You're contributing to that. If you're saying, nah, men, just leave all single moms alone, all that's doing is making society even worse, because that child didn't do anything to just be forced to not have a parent just because other men think it's beta or whatever. So that's all. I ain't gonna go too long.
Nice. I mean, I got
Perfect.
I got some words for that. I mean, it's not that we're trying to shame people. But the issue arises when you consider the idea that, authority, I mean, responsibility without authority is slavery. So it's hard to be responsible for another man's child if you don't have the authority over it. And Czar Danya was trying to explain that, um you can't discipline them, and what that really means is that we really don't have any authority over those children. Now, I don't want to discipline anybody's children, what I'm saying, personally. uh but I'll tell you what, my dad, he actually, my mom was a single mom. My dad met my mom, right? And it was probably, looking back at it from him, I'm glad he decided to talk to her, because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So my mom had two kids when my dad met her, and what he took from the situation, because they didn't work out, was you can't change people. See, my dad was trying to do this honorable thing and make her into somebody that she wasn't. He was this up and coming bright man that was well to do, right? Growing in his field. And he was like, in his mind back then, he was like, why would I date someone on my level, right? He wanted to be like more charitable. He's like, I want to do something to lift the community. Why don't I try to help someone else, help someone out? And he told me, he's like, you can't change people. If you date someone, date them for who they are. And single moms usually are women who have bad judgment, respectfully, bad morals, bad ethics. And you end up hurting yourself as a man. If you're a well-to-do man, you tend to kind of jump on a grenade if you're trying to save a single mom. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying? It could be honorable, but like I said, it's very rare that people change, and when they do change, they tend to get worse.
wait, how is being a single mom equate to having bad judgment? Like, is that blanket?
Because if
Is
Yeah,
that
it
is
is.
that period? So if he dies,
Period.
if the
No,
dad
no, 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 no.
died,
Period. No, only if you're. I don't. If you're a widower, that's different. But if you had kids outside of a marriage, right, and you're a single mom because you just gave a random man the honor of being a father, that's a bad choice.
Well, so
You know what
should
I'm saying?
okay, so this sounds extremely specific. You got like
It
because yeah, you can get divorced. You know, you can be ran out on. It's like there's
Very
a
specific, yeah.
myriad
So
of
if you
things.
we respect women who are single moms that if they were left in a divorce, that they got divorced, we respect those. But the really the common the archetype of a single mom really is just a sexual promiscuous woman who prioritizes pleasure oftentimes, right? And is out of order, right?
okay.
Because to me personally, and you guys can feel whatever you want to feel about
Uh
it.
huh.
um, but we need to start telling women that like this hookup culture vibe, even though as men we benefit from it. So I'm gonna say something that I benefit from that I still think that we shouldn't engage in. I would love to see women return to protecting their chastity, right? We have a lot of women in the black culture that are becoming single moms at a young age or engaging in, I guess you could say fornication at a very young age, and they're having children, right? And so if you're young as a single mom, if you become pregnant as a young woman and become a single mom, like that man left you, just know that you gave the highest honor you could ever give to a man to someone that didn't deserve it. And that to me is poor judgment.
Okay. So really quick, a couple of things. So you said it's poor judgment. So you would say it's poor judgment, even though, because like I said, this is a case by case situation. So for a hypothetical, let's say there is a couple. This couple, they are happy. They're in this relationship. The woman thinks that they're going to get married because the man is telling her, "Yo, I want to do this for you. I'm going to do that. We're going to get married." Blah blah blah. And then they end up pregnant. And then when they get pregnant, things just go left. She has the baby, and the guy just dips out. You mean to tell me that the responsibility still lies on the mother? I'm sorry, I can't subscribe to that because at the end of the day, it literally takes two to procreate. And you're just like you telling women, they need to. You want them to protect their chastity. I think we need to teach men to keep their dick in their pants, and not fornicate, and or at least protect themselves. Like, if you are going to do that, have some sort of protection. But yes, I really can't subscribe to just solely placing the blame on the woman, because at the end of the day, like, we both have to partake in sex in order for a kid to even be born or whatever. And sorry, I want you to
Oh,
chime in on
yeah.
this
So
also.
I wanted to touch up on that because what I teach men is the accountability always falls on the man, no matter how you look at it, because men are too busy blaming the women. They're pointing the finger at all these women, but what about the men? Look at all the simps that are out there. Look at all the beta males that are out there that cash out these women money, that give them all this attention. If those types of men didn't exist, women wouldn't act this certain way that they are acting in today's society. So it all comes back to the man. And even if you got a woman pregnant who's not capable of being a mother, and I believe the worst deed that you can actually bring onto this earth is impregnating a woman that is not fit to be a mother. If you are a man and you impregnate a woman that is not fit to be a mother, that is on you. That's 100% on you. That is the worst disservice any man can bring into this world and onto himself, because you have to protect your seed as if it were worth more than gold. You have to protect your semen, your sperm, your seed like that shit is worth more than gold. If every guy had that attitude and mentality, they would wrap their shit up. They would have a better pullout game. They wouldn't believe women when women tell them to bust inside of them, no matter how good it feels. They'll never do shit like that
What's
because they
oh sorry.
know.
Go ahead.
And another thing, I have guys that always ask me questions, right? What do you think about single mothers? They want me to talk negatively about. I know what they're trying to do. They want me to try to say negative things about single mothers. And I said this on a podcast where I actually thought about this. And I would be a hypocrite to say anything negative about single mothers because many of the women I date are single mothers and have dated. And out of all the women I've ever dated in my life, and I can say this, 100% out of my heart, out of my soul, that I mean wholeheartedly. Out of all the women I've dated, it's the single mothers that I've been with that would have bailed me out of prison, that would have given me money, that would have cooked me food when I asked them to, given me a back massage, taken care of me when I was down and out, bring me medication, bring me soup if I'm sick. Those were the women that would actually go out of their way to do anything for me. But not every woman is like that. So you have to choose wisely. But these women also never expected me to raise their children or take care of their children because they were already established. So they had that part taken care of.
Okay. Logix, did you have a
So I
rebuttal?
was I was gonna say like this ain't like Czar, this ain't towards you, but I just on the idea of like men retaining themselves and just saving their semen and stuff. It's just ironic that somebody that has like 7 kids by a bunch of different women is the same person to say like, oh, raising another man's kid. Like, imagine the idea that you went around and had 7 kids by different women, and in the same breath saying men that take care of other kids is mentally ill. Meanwhile, you're contributing to like the potential of like
I didn't even
7
know that. I
broken
Yeah.
didn't know
homes.
that.
Yeah.
Wait, you
Yeah.
said you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
I
why
had
I
no
wasn't trying
idea.
to say it in a way to like belittle you.
Yeah, so
I
you
was-
guys
yeah.
really disagree with TK Kirkland specifically. You feel like he's out of pocket.
Saying
the
it's
comment.
mentally, yeah, that comment is crazy.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
comment is crazy.
but it's more about the subject because like here's the thing I'm trying to say. Like when we talk about sex and responsibility and it takes two to dance or whatever, unfortunately, things in this world are not equal for men and women. And we know that to be true. I mean, women carry children 9 months. We never know what that, we as men will never know that experience, right? And so inherently pregnancy costs a woman a lot more than it costs a man. There's a more risk for a woman because she could die in childbirth, right? I could knock a girl up, get her pregnant. Okay. My body's never going through go through a vulnerable stage where I need reliable protection and provision to survive. Women essentially become children again when they're pregnant, right? I'm not saying they can't do anything, right? But they're very vulnerable, right? And in our society, right, you give your chair to a pregnant woman, you hold the door open for a pregnant woman. I mean, you do it for women in general, but if a woman's pregnant, it'd be very frowned upon if you're not considerate to her vulnerability. And because of that, because the risk is higher for the woman, the onus is more onto her because she has a lot more to lose, right? And so it's not that single moms are bad people. I know a lot of brilliant single moms. I'm friends with a lot of them. In fact, I'm a personal trainer at the gym, and I tell people all the time, some of the best bodies I've ever seen in the gym are not necessarily single moms, but they're moms, right? So mothers in general, you know what I'm saying, are not crappy, shitty people. That's not the point I'm trying to say. But becoming a single mom's akin to letting an 18-year-old boy test drive a brand new Ferrari that can't afford it. And if he crashes that car, you know what I'm saying, it hurts the dealership more than it does the kid. Now and this is why if you go to a Rolex store, they don't let you take pictures and try on their watches because for you, yeah, you get a cool picture for Instagram, but for them, you just devalued their $100,000 watch. You get what I'm trying to say? You can't take no pictures in a Rolex store. You know what I'm saying? And even though it benefits you and you probably post it all over the gram, it wouldn't benefit Rolex because your little greasy wrist might disinterest the actual a person that can actually buy that watch. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think women need to vet a man very, very carefully before she decides to carry his kid. You can't just say, "Oh, we had sex and I'm pregnant now, and now I want to be pro-choice." I'm glad that you're pro-choice, but you have to understand that this route of women giving birth outside of marriage has not produced great results.
So
And so if we keep falling for it over and over again, to me, a woman that becomes a single mom is no different than a man who goes to jail for committing crimes and stuff like that and does a lot of time. It impacts your life the impact to your life is so much, right? Because we know so many single moms who hate their baby fathers. And here's a situation where you hate a man and you're responsible for his legacy for the rest of your life. You're tied to him for the rest of your life. So you got to be careful. It's a lot of risk and very little reward.
okay, first of all, wild analogy. But question. So you wouldn't say that men also need to vet the women that they're having sex with?
Well,
Because
are you scared of holding women accountable? Because I keep hearing this like onus on men, men, men. I get that,
no,
and
no,
I think.
no, no,
But
no,
is there
no.
any issue with holding women
Oh no,
accountable at
no,
all?
no, no. I hold everybody accountable.
But
If for
specifically women in this scenario.
Yeah, in this
Like
scenario,
if your daughter came home, if you had a daughter, she came home, she got pregnant by 15, or you gonna look at the man, why'd you hook up with my daughter, smash my daughter? Or would you look at your daughter and say, why are you going around doing that?
I mean,
Why you
the guy that she got pregnant by, that's not my kid. So obviously my first reaction would be like, what the fuck are you doing? But obviously I would have to have a conversation with that boy's parents and say, like, have y'all not been watching him? Like, what the fuck has been going on? Have y'all been letting them, smash with the door closed? Like, what have you not been paying attention to them? Because I know at my house, they only can be downstairs and I'm constantly around, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No, I am totally fine with placing blame where it needs to be placed, but I think both parties have a part to play in this.
but they
And
don't have an equal cost though. And
I,
that's
I
why we
I'm
gotta
gonna
watch
be
that.
honest with you. I think that's totally irrelevant. I think that's totally irrelevant. The fact that I understand what you're saying, that a woman goes through a lot more because she has the baby, a lot. She goes through all those changes. Like she is more than likely going to be the caretaker of that child. Like I 1000%
So she
understand.
bears the greatest burden.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Right.
in my eyes, I think that's irrelevant because
And she's a gatekeeper to sex, right? Unless there's like
But
inappropriate SA behavior, there is no sex unless a woman agrees to it.
so even if I grant you all of that, it's just kind of like what is so your idea of like, women got the bigger burden to bear and she's the gatekeeper of sex. So does that mean like somebody makes a mistake, therefore fuck them for life, fuck the kids that come
Uh,
from it? Like, is it
Bro,
like now at this point you did say she did make a mistake, made bad decisions, got pregnant. So now it's like, well, can't have nobody else take care of your kids. Fuck them. You just gonna be single for life. Oh well,
no,
like
no, 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 no,
like
no.
people
So
make
I think
mistakes all the time, and like
no,
you
no,
should
no,
want them
no.
to make steps to improve themselves.
I don't. I'm not saying this that single moms should be discarded. Nah, I'm not saying that. But you make your bed, lay in it. Do you feel
Yeah,
bad for a gangster who
everybody.
grew up? Do you feel bad for a gangster who grew up in the hood in the streets? All he saw was
It's not
crack
about feeling
sales.
bad. It's not even
Hold on.
about feeling
All he
bad.
seen was crack sales. He grew up there's, what I'm saying, his mom was a crackhead. They grew up in not a great scenario, not a great situation, and he becomes like a product of his environment. And now he gets caught up in a case at a young age, and he's doing time for 10 years. Or you can look at him and like, oh, should we throw him away? No, we shouldn't throw him away, but he still got to do his time.
these
Yeah,
analogies, I don't.
yeah, but exactly. Like
That
I
life
don't
has
wait.
consequences. No,
But why
life
are you
has
equating?
consequences.
You're
Life
equating
has
having a
consequences.
kid to like jail and cars and like all these
Absolutely.
things. That's just
Absolutely.
like
Because a
it's
dude who
like
gets
this
locked
is
up,
you should
a
want
dude.
no matter. I don't care how much anybody messes up in life. That's not the kid's fault, and all this is doing is
I'm not talking
damaging
about the kid.
them.
I'm talking about the mom. We're
I'm
not
talking
talking
about
about
the
the
kid,
kid.
but this is about step parents fathering a child that's not there. That's like the topic of this conversation. Like
So
Yeah.
who
it's
owes
like
that kid something? I owe that kid something.
not if you don't want to.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
I'm
like if
saying.
you don't.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
nobody. This ain't about you though. Like this isn't about
But
you.
who
This is
owes
about
that kid though? What I'm trying to say. Who's
the
responsible for that
parents.
child? Exactly. So if
Okay,
you choose a poor parent to be a father, a man that's not
there's
prepared to be a
but these are
father.
you're making so many assumptions. That's not the case for everybody. Like you said, a poor choice and like you fucked up. It's like there's so many ways these relationships play out. Like I get that everybody wants people to move in an ideal way, but that's not how real life is. Like I think most people wouldn't disagree. Like, yeah, maybe you should save yourself for marriage. Maybe you shouldn't
Right.
sleep around. Maybe you should always protect yourself. Like we know all these things and we try to get people to practice them, but in practice, that's not what happens in real life. So
And
if
so
we're
you got
gonna
to pay the
operate in
price
real
when it
life,
doesn't happen.
we need to give people tools to make themselves better and other people. And I'm not saying, like, again, we're not saying like, hey, go out there and date all the single moms till you find the right one. We're just saying like, if you love a woman and you want to choose to be with her and she has a kid, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you don't do it because kid.
Right.
That's weird.
Right.
See, from what I've seen is usually, not all the time, but usually the woman will have these children with the so-called alpha male that they deem very attractive. They want his seed. He doesn't want to take care of the child for whatever reason. And it pisses me off more when I see a guy that will bust a nut inside of a woman and never want anything to do with that child more than me looking at a mother who became a single mother. I'm more pissed at the guy that did that to her when he knew damn well he wanted nothing more to do with her and he would have never taken care of that child. So why are you still busting a nut inside of her? But what I'm trying to say is where was I going at? I forgot like my first thought I had in the beginning. Shit. So oh yeah. So usually from what I've seen, the man that comes in who becomes the stepfather, it's usually the beta male that I believe gets manipulated into taking care of the children because women have a survival mechanism. Their instinct to survive. So they'll go after the guy who's successful, who has money. He's going to take care of the child that I produced from the alpha male that I was once attracted to. That's usually how I see, especially when I was in the workplace and I would see a beautiful single mother coming in, and once again she remarried to some dork with glasses, some like beta male who's successful and had money, and I was like, there's no way, right? You look at a woman, you're like, there's no way she's attracted to him, but he's also taking care of her children. So it makes sense. Like sometimes women will manipulate the man into getting into a relationship and taking care of children that aren't his necessarily. But it's not always the case. I know there's so many different scenarios we can talk about.
Yeah, this conversation is extremely nuanced. But Sar, one thing that I wanted to ask you, and I meant to make this point earlier, but we started going all over the place. One thing I wanted to ask you was specifically about discipline, because that was one of your main points in your opening statement. Um, so when you talk about discipline, I mean, I don't want to be too graphic because like it's YouTube or whatever. We're talking about children, but basically, you mean like physical discipline, correct?
I'm talking it could be verbal, it could be physical, but let's
Okay.
say if he's giving my woman an attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
His mom, he's talking to her in a way I don't like and
Mm-hmm.
he's cursing at her. And I tell him, "Don't ever talk to your mother that way." And then he starts giving me an attitude,
Mm-hmm.
right? What are you going to do about it? You're not my real father.
Mm.
I think that would piss off the average guy.
I mean, but you like,
That would
what are you
piss
gonna
off
do?
the average
Cry?
guy.
Like it's just a issue that you got to deal with. Why y'all like
And
this idea that this
that's
is
it. Like
just like gonna shatter your world if a kid says you're not my dad? Like I don't
no,
care.
you
Like,
can't spank him. You
but
can't spank them. You
well, I
can't
mean,
really discipline
well,
him.
for one, if they're at an age where you might spank your own child, then you just can't do it. Like I'm sorry, it's just if she doesn't allow you to do that, she just doesn't, and I don't see that being the end of the world. Again, these are choices that men gonna make. Like some women allow
Correct.
step parents to physically discipline their child. They'll do it themselves, whatever needs to be done. But like just because the kids say you're not my dad, like what we gonna do, cry? Like it's just something that you just deal with as a step parent. You can have a kid, you can have your own damn kid, and they'll turn around and be Dahmer on you. Like, so I don't know why this idea of
Very
like
true.
this child could be bad. Like your child can be bad, and guess what? You have to be there. You have to be there. If that child's so bad, you can walk away if the child is so bad and you don't want to deal with it and it's not yours. You much easier could walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and
No,
and
you can also
also
walk away. I
right,
agree with that. You could just walk away.
and also to add on to Logic's point, there are also different ways of disciplining a child just in general. Because, like I said, this is exactly why I keep saying this is case by case. Because for me personally, I was the type of kid you could whoop my ass. It's not gonna do anything as long as I can still go outside and play the game. Like I'm cool. Like my parents always took away shit that I loved. Like that's how I was disciplined. Like I couldn't play baseball. I couldn't play video games. That's how they got to me. I mean, as a step parent, I think that it is. I think most women that are single mothers and you come into the picture and you have this this new family, I more than likely I think they will allow for you to discipline the child, but just it may not be physical, and I think that's fine.
But there's always going to be that level of resentment that I believe the stepchild will always have for you because they know that their real father left them. Maybe they don't know the circumstances, but they'll always have that little energy of resentment towards you,
Maybe not though.
no
Like
matter what you do or how good of a father you are.
I don't think that's just necessarily the case. I just think that like that's my issue with this. Is kind of like we take like y'all looking at the worst case scenarios and it's like, you know, the dad ain't shit and he left him and now the mom's destitute and now she's trying to find some type of simp to take care of her 5 kids that he didn't have. Like these are just like niche scenarios that isn't just the
They're
average
not niche.
experience.
If you watch Kendra G, it's common. Like, are
That's
we the
still-
only ones paying it?
Wait.
Come on, let's
People calling into a show necessarily are unique. Like most people not calling into radio IG
So
shows.
you don't believe in any general information. You don't like general information.
That's not general information.
When people say don't date single moms, it's a rule of thumb. But if you gave me an option of an idiot woman who has no kids or a brilliant woman who has a kid, I'm going with the brilliant woman, right? So I'm agreeing with you, right? I wouldn't want to be with some dumb chick just because she's childless,
Mhm.
right? I would take a well-to-do, like I'll take a Sierra, of course. You know what I'm saying? But let's be honest with it. There's not that many Sierras. Let's tell the truth. Now, if every single mom, in fact, I'll tell you like this: single moms back in the day were better than single moms today. Let's tell the truth. Single moms haven't improved.
I wouldn't
know.
No.
Yeah, I was about to say I really wouldn't know.
So there was more, like Shaq. He's from. I'm from Jersey. Czar, we're from Jersey. We're Jersey boys. Shaq is from Jersey, and he's from Newark, and he was raised by a stepfather, right? But look at his regard to his stepfather. That's like his dad to him. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't exist anymore. Stepfathers don't get that same kind of praise anymore.
It's too
So
many
there's no
generalities. Like I think that like.
But you can't complain about the. Listen, I get it. You might not like what I'm saying or how I'm saying it, but in my personal opinion, I want you to focus on the point. Don't try to nitpick and you're saying it this way. Listen to the energy. What's the incentive for a well-to-do man to date a single mom in general? I'm not saying, there's black and whites, there's nuances, but we can't move through life if we keep talking about nuances. When you tell your kid, look left and right before they cross the street, you might not have to do that in every scenario, right? But that's a rule of thumb. I'm a licensed gun owner now, right? We have there's like a lot of rules of thumbs for guns. Treat every gun like it's loaded. Treat every gun like it's loaded. Now, do you technically have to? If you know damn well you put the bullets over here and the gun over here, technically not. But it's a rule by thumb. Never point a gun at something you don't want to destroy. That's a rule by thumb. Right? There's a lot of rules by thumb we can throw out the window. So this argument about
what you think is a better rule of thumb?
The one thing I was going to say, the last thing I want to say before you jump in, Logix, is that this idea that we try to shame generalizations, everything works off of generalities. We can't make, you know what I'm saying? When you go to the store, small, medium, large, those are general. You know what I'm saying? That's not a specific
general
size.
isn't based on anything but how you feel. That's the problem.
No,
this
it's not.
isn't.
No, you said that.
Okay, so what do you think is a better metric? What do you think is a better metric? How about you avoid women that treat you bad, women that are disrespectful to their friends and family, or women that are very promiscuous while you're trying to seriously date? Is that a better thing to follow, or don't date single moms?
I think you can use both of them.
But I feel like you could potentially be missing out on something. I'm not saying, hey, go out there and find them. But
a rule of thumb
it's just like it's all it is actually hurting other people. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're disqualifying them for what, there's no metric that says single moms are bad partners. There's nothing that you can point to that objectively proves that. That's
Do you
just
judge
how
people
you
by the
feel.
character? Do you judge people by the character?
Yes, but being a single mom is not a character.
Is sexual irresponsibility a slight at your character?
But just because they're a single mom, that doesn't mean they were sexually irresponsible, though.
You could avoid becoming a single mom for the most part.
No.
You can't.
That's not necessarily true.
Okay, let me understand you guys correctly. Single mother is something that just happens to you. You have no control.
We're not saying that.
So, and this is my issue. That to me, I think you guys are pandering women and don't want to hold them accountable. And we all know women don't like to be held accountable.
No.
In general, this is a generality. I know you guys hate generalities.
People don't.
But in general, we know that women are allergic to accountability. Let's just tell the truth.
Okay, hold on. No. People are allergic to accountability.
No. I'm gonna go gender specific. Women in general, not all the time, are allergic to accountability. I could see if you go. I've made almost 500 videos on my channel. I'm telling you, I've seen video after video after video after video after video of. I had a girl. I put out a video last night. A woman who attacked a man who she was cheating on. He was contra. Like there's a married couple. They're both in the military. Military man, military woman, right? She's on camera assaulting him, right? She
Mhm.
assaulted him. Okay. He went to the police after she assaulted him because he knew that, all right, if I retaliate, I could obviously lose my job, I could get arrested. So he went to the police, right? When he went to the police station and he told the cops, he showed them the video. They knew that she was the aggressor, right? While they're at the station, you know what's funny? She showed up to the police station. She was so guilty of it after attacking him that he knew he was going to go to the cops. She went to the police station. The cops addressed her and confronted her after already seeing the video. They seen the video. They knew that she attacked him first. She was the aggressor. They wanted her side of the story. All she did when she told her side of the story was blame the man for why she attacked him. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that is not uncommon. It is not uncommon for women to blame you for why they did what they did. Just like they're gonna blame you for why they're a single mom. And you could condone that all you want and you can promote that. But to me, I just feel like you're pandering to women.
Okay, so let's go back to that point. You said you feel like that we are pandering to women. Um,
Yes.
at the beginning of this conversation, I told you one of the main things that like that's big within myself is just like being objective and just looking at a lot of different situations. And also this particular situation, it has so much nuance to it, and I feel like you aren't even opening up your mind to the possibilities that could lead a woman to become a single mother. So all right, fuck it, let's go to, since we've been talking about extremes here, let's go to an extreme. Woman got raped, she doesn't believe in abortion, she wanted to have the kid, and she's a single mom because she decided to have that child. Does that make her sexually irresponsible? Like, is she a
No, it does
bet?
not. It does not. And it makes her the exception. It
Okay,
makes her the exception because
but that's my
grape,
issue. There
grape,
are
grape
there.
is grape. No, because we talked about this, and a lot of politicians take a stance on this. They're against the A word, except for in grape, incest, and risk of killing the mother. You know what I'm saying? And like birth of the death of the mother based on childbirth. But those are exceptions. Those usually not the reasons why people get the A word. Let's tell the truth. People are not usually getting the A word because incest. Because think about how many of these A words. I don't know if you want to say it. I don't know if we could say the actual word. I don't want to kill your stream or whatever.
Oh no,
Um,
you're good.
but if you think of the millions, because they happen by the million, bro. There's millions of these A words. If you look at the percentages, a very small portion of them are incest, grape, and because of potential debt to the mother.
Well, yeah, he
So
said it
I
was an
don't want to.
extreme.
I don't want to talk about something that has very low significance and talk about it like it's the most common case.
But you
Like
don't
I
know.
go back. Let me go back to guns, right? Let me go back
No,
to
no,
guns.
Well, yeah, well, hold on, wait, yes,
We don't
wait.
need no analogies.
Oh,
We can talk about what
No,
we
I can
talk
talk
about.
about, bro. If you go, I'm
wait,
gonna,
hold.
yo, I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I can't express myself and give my analogies, you can't discount me for using analogies,
No,
bro. And
no.
you can't be the judge on what's the analogy is a good analogy or not. That's not fair.
I'm
You
not
can't
saying
determine
it's
that, bro.
not good. I was just
Because you
saying,
can't we can't be both having a discussion and you get to judge whether what I'm saying is a good analogy or not.
I didn't say it wasn't good. I said we don't need to have an analogy. We can actually talk about the subject. I was saying
Yeah,
I didn't say it's not good.
and guys, keep in mind, I also wanted to have SAR's input on this situation as well on this topic. SAR, what do you think about this? Oh wait, we
You
can't even
muted.
hear
You
you.
muted.
You muted. Oh, still muted. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, bro.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But yeah,
Having
bro,
it.
I think it's inappropriate to
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay, let me take my microphone off. So, like I said, I'm very selective with the women that I date.
Hmm.
The single mothers that I've dated, their husbands cheated on them, or something traumatic happened where it wasn't necessarily the woman's fault. And I understand women go through different situations just like men do. So you can't blame all women for being a single mother. But their children were very disciplined. Their children were very respectful. their children. They did a great job raising their children. They still would have the dad see the children once a week or every other week. They would switch off and change who looks after them. So I can't always put single mothers being bad in one box. And that's what everyone wants me to do on my videos because they watch all these other videos of why single mothers are so bad, why you never date them. But one thing I'll never be is a hypocrite because, once again, single mothers have been the best women I've ever had in my life. But I think as a man, you should also learn how to vet a woman properly. You have to learn how to vet
Yeah.
women properly so you don't get involved with certain ratchet women, disrespectful women, and you don't know someone's situation. You don't know someone's situation. But I understand where Shape is coming from because at the same time, certain women, they're not meant to be mothers. You could just look at a woman and like you're not meant to be a mother in this world. So why would you bring a child into this world, or why would you have a guy bust a nut inside of you, even when he knows that? So I think once again, it takes two to tango. But if guys weren't so desperate and they actually thought rationally without their head downstairs, all these women wouldn't be getting pregnant that aren't meant to be mothers.
Okay.
So go ahead. If you going, Watts, go ahead.
I appreciate you. So Shape, so Sarge just basically said that he has dated single mothers within their own situation, it wasn't necessarily their fault, whether it was a situation of where they were in a relationship and the guy left, or they were married and got divorced. Are those particular situations, are you saying those are also are those also like exceptions to the rule in this case? Because there
Yeah.
are okay, wait, time out. When you say that's an exception to the rule, it's usually one exception. It's not multiple.
No, well, listen, it's a group. Listen, I mean, a group of outcomes, could be uh the minority of outcomes, but they're
Mhm.
still a group. Black people are a minority, what I'm saying, but there's still millions of us in America. You know what I'm saying? So we're just talking about what is the common occurrence. We know hookup culture is leading to a lot of single motherhood. The culture of hookup, right? We agree that hookup culture is leading to a lot of women becoming single moms for the most part.
And
Maybe.
straying away
That women
straying
have
away.
Possibly.
that women have high body counts, and that we are fornicating in society commonly, right? That most people are not married when they're having sex. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think women can single-handedly change that without us doing it, without any male control. Women can decide tomorrow that we are only going to sleep with our husbands, and the norm would be, bro. I can't
But
have this conversation if we're gonna laugh at each other, dog.
no,
Like,
no, 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 no.
to me,
I'm
that's ad
no,
hominem. That's ad hominem too. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, I don't
no.
mind
I'm
having a conversation, but if we're gonna laugh, like, I'm making a point not to laugh at you guys' arguments because it's just like
no.
it comes off as condescending. I'm gonna keep it real with you, and
No.
it's like
I'm
I
not.
don't want
I'm
to have the
not.
conversation if we're gonna laugh at each other's arguments.
No, I'm not laughing at. I'm laughing at you because I'm laughing because everything like. Whenever you say something, I always think of a counter argument in my head. It's not like in disrespect to
But
you
you can see
because
how that's kind of impolite in discussion, though. I know you probably don't mean it. I'm just saying.
sure, but also if you watch my videos, you got to know like I'm just a
I'm not taking it personally. I'm just
I'm
taking it
in
for the. I
yeah.
don't take it
Don't take it
personally.
don't
I
take
don't.
it personally. I'm just an
Nah,
animated
watch. I don't
person.
take it personally, but bro,
Yeah,
when we on a playback, it's not gonna look good. I'm making an argument. You're like, it's gonna come off as you
look,
don't respect the difference of opinions. Like, look, I accept that you guys have a different opinion of me, and I'm gonna tolerate you, and I'm not gonna attack you personally, right? We said we're not gonna do ad hominems, right? It's because it doesn't make any sense. It's a weak argument to attack the individual
no, but
and try
but
to argue it.
but me having a reaction isn't an ad hominem. Like I wasn't laughing specifically at you. Like I was laughing because of the rebuttal that I was going to come up with in my head because I had a direct response to what you just said. And if we can go back to the conversation, that'd be dope. So what you said specifically, you said you felt like if single you said you felt like women at the end of the day, you said hookup culture is a huge part, it leads to, promiscuity, blah, blah, blah. I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but you said if women were to just take a stance and just like wear a chastity belt and say, you know what, no more, we're no longer allowing men to enter our bodies unless they are our husbands, right? But why is it that men can't? Why is it that men can't do the same thing? Why can't men say, you know what?
We
I'm
can, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to say, how come? Why is it that men we can't say, yo, I'm aware. I'm either gonna wear a condom or I'm just not gonna do it. No, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
We can, but even though it takes two people to make a kid, it only takes one person. Only one person gets a decision whether that kid is born or not. A woman has full control of whether a child is born. You cannot force a woman to give birth to your child. You
You
cannot force a woman to give birth to your child. If a woman has your child, she made that decision. If I got a girl pregnant right now, she's like, I'm gonna have an abortion. What can I do? Can I take her to court?
I
What can I
mean,
do?
no, you aren't wrong, but
Can she
also
get a? How many times can a girl get an abortion if I get her pregnant?
hold on. You are not wrong, but also I do think that it lies on us to have those conversations before we even have intercourse in the first place. What are your thoughts on abortion? If we had a kid by any chance, would you get rid of it or would you keep it? I think that responsibility lies on both parties. We need to have those
But
conversations.
women can single-handedly veto whether you have a kid or not, and that's powerful. We got to give women their honest power. Women have the power to say if they don't want to carry your child, they can get rid of it with impunity. You
Mhm.
can't stop them. Tell me, how can you stop a woman from saying that you're going to abort your child?
I'm not saying that. I'm
So
not.
that means
I'm
women have unilateral decision on who becomes a parent or not when in America. That's just the reality of it. So if we ignore that and say it's on both on men and women, when I can't force a woman to give birth to a child, if I could force a woman to give birth to a child, then it's on both of us, right? But I can't. So ultimately, she decides whether we have sex or not, if her legs are open or not, right? In general, there's all certain situations, there are exceptions, right? But she decides. And then from there, she also decides whether we use a condom or not. She decides whether, even after that, she just takes a plan B or not. There's so many steps before an abortion.
So
There's
do men
so
have
many
any
steps.
agency in this entire
Yeah,
process? In
yeah,
this,
of course we have agency, but after semen leaves your body, you have no agency.
but the way you frame it all, it just makes it sound like we're
I'm
passive
not saying
parties in this
I'm
whole
not,
thing. It's as
but
if
what do
it's
you
like
agree? Can you force a woman to give birth to your child?
no, but I don't.
Therefore, if she has veto power, you got to respect that veto is a strong power.
That's fine. I don't. I'm sorry. I kind of got lost as to what this was even the
I'm
premise of this
saying that if
argument
you
was.
look at it
What was
objectively,
this about?
women have full control over whether they give birth to a child.
Okay.
100% in America
Okay.
currently right now.
And
Is that true? Yes or no?
yeah, pretty much. So, but
Okay.
are you
And that's
saying
a
that
big, but that's not a small. If you minimize that, it's not respect to its
I'm not?
actual gravity.
I was gonna say. Are you saying that to say that because they might have a child in unideal circumstances, then I guess more blame is on it? Because yeah, I don't want us to get off of what this conversation was about.
Right.
But that's what it's a single motherhood is a choice. Is the point I'm trying to say.
It's
If you
not
have
always a choice.
but most of the time,
How do you know
tell
that?
the
I feel like
because
what
a
are you
woman
basing that
decides
off of?
because here's the 3 steps. A woman decides if you can sleep with her or not, right? She
Oh, that's
or
cool.
can you decide that? Can you just say, "Hey, girl, come over, bend over, let's get it cracking."
Hey, real quick, that is so hard. I can never do that on FaceTime, bro. With the thumb that just
I
popped
got a
up.
new laptop. I got a new
Oh,
laptop.
okay,
I
my
got a new
bad.
laptop.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you off. That's
Sorry.
I got a new
crazy. Yeah,
laptop.
I could
So
never
this
do
is the
that.
new MacBook and shit like that. I got a new laptop.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
Straight lines.
you know, the point I'm trying to
So
make is
I've
like
been
we need to give
in
women their actual
situations
power. If women have actual power, we should not dim their power. If a woman can control who has access to her body, if she can control whether she decides that person becomes a father or not, we have to preserve that power. We can't say, "Oh no, well, men is equal." No, it's not. Women have more power in this particular situation, and we need to respect that.
But what I'm saying is that you're saying that based off of opinions of how you feel about single motherhood. Like there is no like this is the sole reason women are single mothers. There's a
Who told you it's
myriad
because
of
of
reasons.
opinions?
Excuse
Who
me.
told you it's because of opinions?
I keep asking you, what are you basing this off of?
Yeah,
I just
because
asked you. Can we all agree on this? That women get to decide who sleeps with them, yes or no?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
But that's
talking
what
about
I'm
being.
talking about, though. But that's what I'm talking about. I just asked you a
But
question.
even that, no matter whether how they decide who they sleep with, that does
So
not
you
translate
are
to them
watering down the
choosing to
problem.
be a
You
single
watered down the
mother.
problem. You're watering down the power that a woman has,
No,
and you're trying to hold them. If a woman decides who she sleeps, can a woman stay okay? Can a girl stay a virgin as long as she wants to?
you're skipping the part of that matters in this conversation.
Hold
To
up,
who?
real
Who
quick.
determines that? Says who?
Hold up, real quick. Shape, let Logix finish his thought, and then you can provide
Absolutely.
a rebuttal. And sorry, you can you can apply a rebuttal afterwards as well.
I'm saying, like, despite any choices she's making, the fact is, whether or not she made it through the right ways or the wrong ways, it does not translate that she chose to be a single mother necessarily across the board, or in most cases, unless you could show me that. That's why I'm saying, like, I feel like you're basing that claim off of how you feel about the situation. It's not based in any tangible metrics. That's what I'm getting at. So, like, women get married and get divorced. Women get married and get left. People pass away, people become abusive, people get on drugs. There's just so many things that happen to people, whether it's the woman's fault or not. It's just the fact that to say, like, women control having baby, that's irrelevant to being a single mom on its face. Like, it's those two.
But that's
things
that's your
those
opinion.
are two different. No, wait, what?
So what you're saying is a fact, and what I'm saying is opinion.
It's a fact that wait. So you're saying it's a fact that
what you said right now is a fact or opinion.
It's a fact that there's different reasons people are single mothers. Yes.
Okay, and it is a fact that women decide who they sleep with.
That has nothing to do with what I'm saying, though.
Bro, the question was it? No. The question was it a fact? You didn't answer the question. Was it a fact or is it opinion? Because
Yes.
your argument was I'm saying opinions, and I asked you something. I just said, is that a fact or opinion?
Yeah, that's a fact. Yes.
Okay, so then
we choose
right
who we
there,
have sex with.
you skewed my argument to say that it's all opinions, and
You're-
that's a
no,
way to deflect.
what
and try
I'm saying is an
bro,
opinion.
you try to minimize what I say by calling it opinions.
No,
But I just asked you if it's an opinion if a woman determines if she's a virgin or not, or if she has sex or not.
That's not what I'm trying to argue.
But what about? But you're not the only one having the discussion. Forget about what you're just trying to say. What about what I'm trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
I just right there. Can women decide how long they can keep their virginity and who they have sex with? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Is that an opinion or a fact?
Men and women can. Yeah.
A woman can't do that. Why you got to throw men in there?
What?
This is why it's pandering. Yeah. So okay,
I just want to be clear because you
my
make things gendered that aren't gendered. But
my last opinion on this, and I'm gonna be quiet, is you don't like to hold women accountable, and I understand that. It's a way to pander to women.
That's a weird judgment.
I mean, you see
Oh.
bro, it's so interesting debating with people because that's like ad hominem. When you decide that you can measure when you can measure my opinion, oh, that's weird, this. When you do that, when you say little stuff like that, you're trying to measure it. You don't determine if my argument is good or not. You could agree with it or disagree with it.
I don't
can't
think
determine it. You can't determine whether I have a good argument.
I could how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I don't say you feel about it, but do you agree that you can't determine? You are not the one that determines if I have a good argument.
I can't change that. Oh, that's fine, but people are gonna make their own
but
judgments.
that's what you're doing. Oh, that's weird.
No, okay, so wait, time out. Hold up.
In that term, I'm not trying to say, hey, you're weird. And
yeah, he wasn't. Yes, Logix wasn't calling you weird. You are.
Talk, and I just say, bro, oh, what you said? Oh, that's weird.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't saying that. You said that Logix was basically pandering to women out of this conversation, out of this exchange.
Women do this. He said men can too. Bro,
because
I don't
agree with the framing. I don't agree with the framing. That's
that's fine. We can agree.
But it doesn't make it illegit.
I didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
I'm not saying you said it, but you're implying it when you make smirky remarks like that's weird.
Dude, I said
you have to, if you don't understand that.
No, I said that's a weird judgment for you to say you don't like holding women accountable. I said that's a weird. You're talking about me. You're saying it about me.
So if you want to express yourself that makes sense to me, you say, I think that's weird.
Bro.
All right, hey, let's just go ahead and
that's just my opinion.
That's fine. Let's just change it to you're good. Let's just change it to a different gear because there is something else that I wanted to get into, and I want Czar's opinion on this. So one thing that came out of the conversations before was that I don't know, Shape. I don't know if it was you or if it was Czar, but you guys basically said that taking care of another man's child is simp behavior, and I just want you guys to expand upon that a little more, just because with me personally, I don't necessarily think that's simp behavior. Like I said before, if you love a woman and she just so happens to have a child and you want to take care of that kid because the father isn't around, he could be deceased, in jail, or whatever. I think that's totally fine. I don't think that's you simping. I think that's you making a choice. So, Sar, I want your opinion. What do you think about this?
Now, it's always a person's attitude towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the guys that become stepfathers, they feel as if they're superheroes now. They have that type of attitude. I'm here to save this woman, my job, because they've been programmed to do that. Now, I respect the guys where they go in with the attitude of, you know what, I love this woman. I know she has a child. I'm willing to take care of it. I'm not going to be seen as some superhero, or I don't want to get on her good spirits and be put up on a pedestal because of what I'm doing. Beta males have that exact opposite attitude when they go into those marriages or relationships because they've been programmed to believe otherwise. So they feel as if they're doing something holy for the woman, and it doesn't come out from a place of being giving. It doesn't come from a place that is in their heart. That's what I can't stand, because they act like they're doing a good deed, but in reality, they're snakes in disguise. They're just doing this
Mm.
to impress and to show them that there's some holy man that is super nice compared to all these other guys that she met. That's what I can't stand, is the hypocritical attitude behind these beta males and these simps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, if a man has a child and he meets a woman who also has a child of her own, I've seen that work, where the children may be teenagers or they're grown. They don't need each other to take care of one another's children. Relationship can work great that way. But at the same time, majority of good quality women, if you're a man who's a single father, and I've done a lot of consultations, this is based off my experience from what guys tell me. When they meet a beautiful woman who doesn't have any children and they find out that he has children, they'll ghost that guy. They don't want anything to do with him anymore. Right. So I teach men, why do you tell her right away that you have children? He's like, oh, why not? I should be honest and upfront. But I'm like, yeah, but why would you disqualify yourself without her getting to like you first? What if she ends up liking you? You're a cool dude. And then one day she finds out you have a child and you act like it's no big deal. Like, yeah, I have a child, but I'm not looking for someone to take care of him. That changes a dynamic,
Really
right? When,
quick, really quick.
yeah.
I understand. Do you think that's a little bit disingenuous? Maybe a little bit, because I understand what you're saying. I would understand as to why someone would not reveal that information like out the gate, like, hey, just to let you know, I got a kid and we just met 5 minutes ago. So would you say withholding that information for a little while is a little bit disingenuous?
No, not at all,
Mhm,
because in the beginning, you never want to put a lot of pressure on a woman.
mhm,
Because guys, when they come out in the open and tell women they have, they have a child or they used to be married, there's all this pressure that they put on her, where in her mind she's thinking, oh my God, is he looking for the next mother of his child? Like, I'm not ready for that. I just met this guy. Because women are based on emotions. Like, that's what's going through their head. And I learned this because back in the day when I was 19, 20 years old, I was like, how do I get the older women, like 25 and older? So I would never tell them my age. They just assumed I was 21 and older. I never lied to them until I got them to like me.
mhm.
And then when they found out I was 20, it was no big deal to them because I already built that attachment. So it's the same thing with a man that has a child. Guys go into the dating scene thinking they have to reveal everything to the woman. But I'm telling you, a good quality woman, if she meets a man who's a single father, most of them aren't going to want to get in a relationship with them because they want children of her own.
But
Gotcha.
you don't. I mean,
They
some
want
people.
children of her
It's
own.
not that they can't have kids with a woman that has kids already, right? You said because they want their on their own. That's not stopping them, depending on the situation, right?
Damn it!
Yeah,
Literally what I was about to
yeah,
say.
You know. So
yeah. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
Go ahead.
believe like most good quality women, they want to have children of their own with a man who doesn't already have children.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
but
that's
if
probably
she
how they
has,
got their first kid.
True.
if what?
and that's probably and that could be what happened with their first kid or
Mhm.
kids or whatever. They maybe they was together, had 2 kids, it didn't work out, and they meet somebody else, and the guy may or may not want to have kids, and just because she had
Mm.
kids, depending on her age, it doesn't stop them from having their kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, everyone's situation is different, but I've
Right.
been in situations where beautiful women have told me to bust inside of them, and I'm not stupid. Like, come on, guys, let's be honest. Like, I know what's going on. Okay. But I don't know how guys fall for it. I don't understand
I
how
mean, yeah,
guys.
in college, I had
Because they
friends
don't
that was
value
like,
themselves, bro.
yeah, my
Hey,
friends in college, I was like, you strap up. They like, no. I'm like, bro, y'all like,
tripping,
I'm
yeah.
like, gee,
That's what
like
I'm
y'all
saying. Like you
crazy.
tripping, like big
It's
time.
insane.
Yeah.
Because I know, because the more alpha you are in their mind, because that's a perceived value. Like, the
Mhm.
more attractive they are to you, the more they want you to impregnate them.
Mhm.
And women are all in the moment. They'll tell you, "Oh my God, finish inside of me." Right. And you know damn well she's not on birth control. And you're like, nah, I've seen this before. So you
Yeah.
got to be smart. Men have to be smart,
Yeah,
man. You just have
I
to be
think
I
smart
agree.
as
yeah, and no, I agree with both of y'all like on that, and that's what I said. That's why I was trying to ask. Like, I think a better way to frame these types of conversations would be like looking at poor qualities in people, not like if they have a kid or not. Now
Mm,
you could even use that as a metric of that person's character. How do they treat their kid? Are they a good parent? You got a sign right now that she could
Great
be a
point.
shit parent, and you see that and you're like, oh hell no, like I'm not dealing with a woman that can't be a good parent because you could find that out the hard way. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like you end up thinking somebody's this great woman, and then a kid come around, and maybe does the 180 on you, and now you stuck with a kid with a woman that ain't shit to the kid. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So, and of course, again, this isn't to say this is a better option is to go the route with single moms, but it's a barometer to check that person's character. And I think
Mhm.
checking people's character and finding out flaws that some people may not want to deal with in their relationships is a better barometer of dating people than to be like, does she have a kid? Because that doesn't tell you the whole story.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm. Yeah.
If I to Logix and Watts,
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
a man goes to jail for 10 years, do you think it says anything about his character?
What do you go to jail for?
Yeah, what do you go to jail
Okay,
for?
I'm glad you said that. So that means you look at the case by case, like what Watts was saying before,
Mhm.
right? But if you couldn't get that information, if you don't know anything about it, just in general, 10 years, you don't know nothing, you don't have any other information. Are you gonna suspend judgment altogether, or are you
Y-
gonna make a judgment about it?
you want me to be honest?
Yeah,
I don't have an opinion on it because I don't
you
know
don't
why he went to jail.
you
I
don't want to.
don't.
You'd wait till you have more information.
Correct.
Okay, if I'm okay, I'm gonna give it a super extreme scenario right now. You
Go
know,
ahead.
I'm gonna
Mhm.
give you. I'm gonna give you a super extreme scenario right now.
Okay.
Um, Watts is a married man, right?
Yeah.
Watts, there's a knock on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't know any other reason. There's a man outside. He got a mask on. You don't know any other reason. Okay. What are you going to assume he's there for? 3 a.m. in the morning, got a mask on, knocking at the door.
First of all, what hood booger shit am I up to where there's
That's what
a
I'm
man
saying.
with a
That's what
mask?
I'm saying. And it could be,
No.
he could be, hey man, I found your wallet at the gym. It could be that.
Nah.
Like,
First of all,
are you
it
gonna assume it's that?
of course not. Anybody
Of
knocks on
course.
my
And so
door
what
at
I'm trying
3
to
a.m., I'm
say
not
is a
opening it.
single mom is like that in a way. And a single mom is like that where I'm a bro.
Hold
This
up.
conversation, bro, this is really hard when we do this, y'all.
Bro,
No,
I'm
we're
having
just
a
we're
I'm
strong
really
emotion.
no one on our
I'm
side is doing that. No one on our side. When you guys speak,
that's
you don't
not
do
your
that.
personality. I wouldn't be offended if you did. I'm
yeah, I wouldn't be
sorry.
offended either. We're just trying to see how you gonna tie it in. That's all. I'm just trying to see how you gonna tie it in.
I mean, it's a really bold analogy, and I
Is.
have a reaction, dude. Like,
Yeah, like you said
You never
yourself it
you
was
can't hold
extreme.
you can't hold your reaction.
Bro, we
What?
animated. We are literally animated.
This is not
It's
the
what I
real.
do for
So
a living.
okay. I perceive behavior like that as to be unintentionally discounting someone's argument before they make it.
No.
I didn't discount it. I just think it was a
Do you feel like someone's
very
taking you seriously if they laugh right before you speak? You personally, if you're about to speak right now, you don't know anything else about them. Every time you're about to talk to them, they're laughing at.
what
If
I,
you're in an interview, you're interviewing for a job, and the guy wants to get to know you, and every time you open your mouth, say something, he starts laughing. Do you
What
think do you think he's taking you seriously?
my
If you're on a
reaction
job
was
interview,
my reaction was after what you said. It wasn't before you started
so
talking.
you're on a job
Correct.
interview. I'm giving a job interview, just an analogy, so we can talk about the relationships of things. And people keep asking why I do analogies. Law school, people that go to law school, I never went to law school, but if you read about law books, the bar exam, that thing, they compare things based on relationships. The whole book of the law school books are relationships. And so here we're trying to find the relationship between one or two things. And that's why I'm using an analogy. If you're on an interview with a man and he keeps laughing after you say every word, do you feel like he's taking you seriously?
It would depend on what was said. That's the
All right.
real
So
answer.
you don't know. So
That's the
you would
real answer.
suspend judgment. If a man laughs every time you speak, you would suspend judgment.
Nobody's laughing every time you speak, so it's a false analogy.
Yeah.
I'm
Nobody's
asking you a
laughing every
question,
time you
but I'm
speak.
asking you a question. Just say no, you could just answer the question.
I mean, if somebody laughed every time I spoke, I'd be like, "What's funny?"
Okay. And that's exactly what I'm thinking of because when I'm making my point, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to hit on it too hard, but to me, it's for me, my experience is just too distracting every time I'm trying to speak. Is laughing.
But Shape, you have to admit you are the one. You laughed before you said I'm going to give the most extreme
I'm not mad
example.
at y'all. I'm not mad at y'all.
No, I'm not saying that you mad. I'm just
I'm not mad.
no,
I
I'm
know
not
how this
saying.
shit goes. It makes
No,
sense,
I'm not saying
right?
that you're mad. I'm just saying
You
you
could.
cannot blame us for laughing when you said you were going to give an extreme an
I use
example and you
hyperbole,
gave an
but
extreme example and
but
it was
I'm using
extreme.
hyperbole. I'm using hyperbole.
All right, go ahead. Yo, tie it in cuz I'm very curious.
Okay.
All right.
So the uh uh
The
wait, what the
the hood booger knocks on my door
yeah,
at
that's on your
3
door.
a.m.
So the point I'm trying to say is that there's a book called Snap, right?
Mhm.
And humans, we make snap judgments because we don't always have all the information. And so when people talk about single moms, it's kind of we're talking about in a sense without information. With more information, you have a better idea of what you could potentially do. But with limited information, if you don't know anything else about somebody, if I have a son and he's doing very well, he's about to get drafted to the NBA, and he brings home a single mom without me knowing anything else about it, I'm gonna assume, Joe, bro, what are you doing?
But
Right? Without knowing anything else. Now, it could be Sierra that he brought home. Yeah, I guess so. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be a hood booger who made bad decisions, who's sexually promiscuous and don't know how to keep her legs closed.
but
Uh,
sorry.
oh, I was about to say so question in that instance, would you not trust the judgment of your own son that if he's
No, of
bringing
course
home
not. Of course not.
really you raised him?
Yeah, but he's you know what? I didn't create his biology.
What?
I,
I didn't create his biology. Look, the nature of man. Do you guys never? I don't know. Maybe you guys are very moral people, but you know the stuff that the lengths that men go through to get laid.
I
I
mean,
mean,
some men,
Do you know the
yeah.
lengths that men go through to get laid?
Some men,
Not
yeah,
all men, but
I
I'm
get
just
it.
saying. But what a
No, yeah, I
man's
get it.
your sexual motivation is one of the strongest motivating factors in your life as a man. Natural motivation in life is your sexual desire. So men are willing to do all types of stuff to get laid. So for me, if you brought home, my assumption would be you're sexually attracted to her. That's it. I'm not gonna assume that you judged her character correctly,
wh-
and of course not.
Go ahead,
I
Logic.
was gonna say I think I'm pretty much watch too probably, but I'm arguing that I just think that's a bad heuristic to date off of. I don't think that
And I think it's a
baby
good,
mother.
and so we disagree. I think it's a good. Would
Yeah,
you say
but I mean, I
heuristic?
think we could. That's what I think we could really get at, though. I think that's the heart of the conversation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
If you don't want to judge someone for being a single mom, that's fine. But just know I judge it no differently than I judge a man who went to jail for 10 years.
I get it.
Because a single
I'm
mom is a life sentence.
but somebody that committed a crime,
Poor choice.
I get what,
Poor choice.
but you. Yes,
Could be an
yes,
innocent
it could
guy.
be poor
Could grow
choice.
up in a bad
It could,
scenario.
yeah, It could. It's
But
it's
choices.
a lot of factors. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be consistent with that. There's a lot of factors, but I think that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing about being a single mom where that heuristic is good to choose who to date. That's what I'm saying, because you're leaving out way more important things that could
Well, you
matter
don't
in
always
somebody you
have all
date.
the information. The point I'm trying to say.
Well,
Listen,
you date, you
we
don't
have
date with minimal, like, if we're gonna go off of like bringing somebody home, you know what I'm
but you
saying?
gotta vet people, right? You gotta vet people. So
Yeah,
you could do the, I'm talking about Logic. I mean, I'm talking about Watts at night, 3 a.m. in the morning. He's vetting that person already.
There's
Bro,
absolutely
the
no
time-
upside.
the
There's
timing-
no upside to seeing why somebody's on my door at 3 a.m. with a mask on. Like,
But look
and
at that
it's
limited
all.
information though. Limited information is you don't know who it is. You know why
Okay,
they're
so you
there.
don't
All
answer
know
the
is they got a
door.
mask on at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Same thing with single mom. You
I
don't know
don't
anything
see-
about her. You just know her age and that she's a single mom.
I think that's a bad analogy. I just think.
but I think it's a good analogy.
I don't see where but there's a harm in the potential of somebody at your door. It's just nothing to gain. There's a mutual understanding.
What is the gain? What do
so-
I gain from a woman having a child?
That's not her entire existence. Why are you acting like
But
the child is the end all
bro,
be all?
do you understand you have 24 hours in a day?
Yeah.
Do you understand that children are time intensive?
Yes.
Yes. Do you understand that if you're a single mom, they're even more time intensive because you don't have help?
Yeah, probably.
So, on average, women that are single moms have less time for the men that they're dating.
Maybe, but
Correct?
that's maybe.
They have
Again,
just as much
these
time.
are all
Oh,
Again,
on
these
average,
are all,
they have just as much time as a woman without kids.
but these are all just judgments that man can make
I'm
and go about
asking you a
his life.
question. Who do you think has more available time to date, a single mom or a woman without kids?
I don't
on
know. It
average.
depends on what that woman without kids does in her
Depends.
spare time.
So on average, there's not a significant amount of time that having a child costs in an individual's life. On average, it's almost like not having a child at all. Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
Having a child is almost like not having a child at all when it comes to cost of your time.
No,
on
I'm saying that people use their time differently. That's what I'm saying.
If you have to take if you are the primary caretaker of a child as a mom, do you know what that's like? Do you know single moms?
I'm married.
Because now it sounds like you're ignorant. You don't even know single moms.
Yeah,
Single moms
know.
don't got no time, bro.
Not necessarily. I know single moms that have a
What
lot
do
of time.
You know,
That's why
single moms that
anecdotes
have a
are
lot of
irrelevant.
I do agree with Logix here. Anecdotes really are relevant because
So-
I also know single moms that do have a little more time on their hands because they have help. It also there are so many scenarios that contribute to this. Like are the grandparents involved? Do they have a village? You see what I'm saying?
A single mom needs all those things where a person who's single don't need any of them.
I mean, yeah.
But what is that? That doesn't mean anything though. As far as when
Yeah.
you're trying to
For
date.
you, no, but from your perspective, it means nothing. From my perspective, it means everything.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, where does that? How does that help men make better decisions in dating when you're leaving so many other better things you
Because
could talk about?
honestly,
as
it's
far
easier
as-
to say we're gonna take a huge risk and say, you know what, there could be some exceptional single moms, but on average, a lot of them are probably people that made poor decisions. Therefore, we just
What do
vet
you
them
base-
and
what is
exclude.
that based on? When you say that they made bad
There's
decisions, what
there's
is
many
that based
choices
on?
you have to make before you're a mom. You don't become a mom on accident. There's many choices.
And there's many ways you become a mom.
A mom on accident.
But there's many, regardless of what you like, you don't just end up in jail for 10 years. There's generally many choices you got to make in order to end up in jail for 10 years.
It's just, but you frame it as
Is that not true? If I
yes, but
graduate
it's just
college,
we don't agree with the
graduated college, right?
analogy, so it's just like
Yo, did you graduate college?
I did.
Okay, did you graduate college, Logix?
yeah,
Okay, you got a bachelor's degree, Logix?
yeah.
Okay, Watch, you got a bachelor's degree?
Yeah.
Were there many decisions you had to make to graduate college, or did you just graduate college on a whim?
I mean, yeah, I had to make decisions and
You didn't just
put
graduate college.
put in
right?
put
There's a
in
lot
put
of
in the
choices
work.
that are made. Yeah,
Yes,
there's a lot of choices, right?
but yes,
I'm saying that,
choices.
so there's no accidental college graduates. There's no accidental single moms.
I hear you, but like you said, we made the choice to put in the work and get the degree. Some single moms made the choice to be in a relationship that they thought was going to work, but hell, the father of her child cheated on her, and she no longer wants to be in that relationship.
But it's
So-
always the guy that did wrong. Why can we never talk about the women doing wrong? Every time you raise a single
no,
mom, she's the
hold
victim.
up, no. Do
When
you,
is a single
the
mom
only
not the victim?
the
When is a
only
single
reason
mom not the victim?
the only reason why I'm phrasing it that way is because you're constantly making the woman the victim. That's the only reason why I'm just trying to provide.
Because they have unilateral decision of who becomes a parent or not.
Everybody does.
I know. I'm 37. Look, I'm 37. I don't have any kids. You got any kids, Watts?
I do not have any kids.
Why
Do
you
you know?
got any
Do you
kids?
know?
Yeah.
Do you wait? Hold up. Do you want to know why I don't have kids? Because I know how to wear a fucking condom.
Okay. What about me? What about me? You think I
You-
accidentally got?
Nah, you
think I've never
are
had
probably
any
a
fun and said
responsible
what's wrong?
individual.
You think I've never had a girl with whisper in my ear what Czar said out loud recently? Actually, oh yeah, please busting on me. You think I've never heard those words?
Hey, yo, real quick. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the chat. My boy just put in the chat. Watts is neutered. I am not. I'm not.
No,
But you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's
So
cool. But
just like I can make the decision to plan my parenthood, I'm a 37-year-old man without kids. If I could, so do I deserve any credit for that? I deserve zero credit for that. It just happened to me.
I mean, if that was the choices you made, then you should be proud of that.
I
If
agree.
it
with
was
you.
a choice, you don't think it's so? You think
If
I
it
became
goes-
37 without making choices this way?
Maybe
You
you,
think-
could
so
be
you think-
sterile. I don't know. Like I don't know. And that's not a
No,
joke. I'm just
no.
I'm-
All
you know.
things being equal, meaning that there's no extraordinary scenarios. All things being equal, I'm fertile. All that stuff. Do you think I made any decisions to get up to this point and not have kids?
Yes, it was
Okay.
intentional.
And should we reward behavior like that, or should we ignore it and say, well, if you had a kid or not, you're 37 or not, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Are they equivalent to each other?
I'm not proud of people with kids, and I'm not proud of people without them.
I now understand why you feel the way you feel, because you don't actually see any credence to being someone of my age that didn't recklessly have a child.
No, that's
you look
not
at
what
me-
I
if you
said.
look-
That is in no way what I'm saying.
I didn't say you said
I'm
those
not
things.
proud. I'm not proud. I think it's good if it's good for you. Like if that's the choices you made and you're happy with what you've done. I'm happy that you obtained what you want. I'm not walking around saying like, because you could be 37 with no kids and want them more than anything in the world. So why would I be proud of it? You get what I'm saying? So if you're where you want to be, I'm happy that you where you want to be. It's not like.
But I'm actually, if I got here
Hey-
on accident.
Hey, yo, real
No.
quick. Shape, give your rebuttal, and then I have another question.
Yeah, I'm asking you if I'm if my choices were the reason why I'm here, or you think I just got here on accident. I'm trying to see how much you weigh people's choices in life, because to me, life is about choices.
I don't disagree.
If you don't feel like life is about choices, then fine.
I
Your
don't
single moms
disagree
matter.
with choices, but you're framing this conversation as if the woman made bad choices and that's why she's single, and that's not
She made the
necessarily the
choice-
case.
If you open
It's-
up your,
so-
your okay, if you decide to not sleep with men that you're not married to, can you make that decision?
You can be married and no longer
No.
be though.
I'm asking a question. That don't jump around. I'm asking you a specific question.
That's the
Don't, but
crux
you,
of the
bro,
argument.
just take, but no, but I want you to, in order to have a conversation, let's respond to each other. I'm asking you a direct question, right? Let's act like we're in a courtroom. I'm asking you a question. You all understand? I'm asking you a question. Don't say something outside of the question. I'm asking you a question specifically. You know what I'm saying? Can a woman choose not to have sex with anyone but the man that she's married to?
Yeah.
Okay. So there she has agency of her life. Is she a victim if she sleeps with a man that's not her husband?
Yeah. I mean, wait, what?
Is a woman a victim for sleeping with a man that's not her husband?
No, I'm not
Is she a
calling
victim?
anybody a victim.
I'm not calling anybody a victim.
Okay, but to me, from what I perceive from what you guys are saying, you guys treat women like they're vulnerable victims, and they're
We
not
didn't-
responsible for opening up their legs, deciding to let a man sleep with them without a condom.
We
bust a
didn't.
nut,
That's never
not
been.
take a
We
plan B
we never
afterwards,
we
not
never
take a plan
said
B
that.
afterwards, not getting an abortion afterwards.
That's
and
never
carry-
been the.
We
that's
carry
we
a
never
never
been.
pregnancy
said
to term.
that. Look,
not
I'm gonna
saying-
look. I'm gonna keep
I'm
it.
not
As,
saying I didn't say my argument wasn't that you said this word for word. My argument is that you're implying that if you don't hold her accountable for her decisions.
okay.
If you don't hold her, if you can hold me accountable as a man, you said don't bust a nut in a woman, right? You can hold her accountable for letting a man bust a nut in her. Yes or no?
But this is part of why I say like you get to know people and the decisions they made, not just simply the single mom part. That's not what matters. What matters is what happened. What is your situation? That's what matters more.
So watch
that
when there's
matters
someone
more.
at 3:00 in the middle of the night, go knock on the door.
Can you address that part though?
go,
Wait,
go
no.
find out.
Can you address that? Can you address what I'm saying? I'm saying
I'm not
that-
gonna live life where everything's a nuance, bro. I'm not gonna live.
But
like
wait, wait. Time out.
I'm
But
not gonna live in this.
wait.
Everything's black. Everything's gray. I'm not gonna live.
But
like that.
but shape. You do realize life is literally filled with nuances. Like there is
And life
nuance
is
to
full of-
everything.
and life is full of generalities too. Both of them.
Okay, look. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm a personal trainer, right? I could talk about overall American health in general. I can talk about specific issues. I train a dentist. He specifically has tight biceps because he sits in front of people like this all day. So
and
his
you got
arm
a
is
certain
constantly in the
you got a certain routine with him because of what he's dealing with, right?
Specific with him.
Yes.
But on average, most people are not like him. Most people don't have, most people don't have tight biceps. He's a very unique person based on his lifestyle.
Right. And I'm sure
Right.
the next
So
person
there's
you work with,
generalities.
you
The
can't
thing
give him the
that's
same
general-
routine as him, right? The next person you talk to, right? You can't give him the same routine as the guy with the tight biceps, right? Like,
No,
because
but you know what I could
that's
do?
not
And
what
you
he
know-
got to deal with, right?
But you know what I could do? And we do this. I have a program that's generalized that almost anyone could use it. Almost anyone can use it. I can use a program. It's a beginner program for almost anyone can use it. There's certain people, 3 to 4, 5% of people that it would not work well for, but most people work well for. In hospitals, they're general practice. We have, medicine is all general. Tylenol is general. When you take Tylenol is an example of something that's general. Can everyone, you know what I'm saying, take Tylenol? No, there's some people that can't. But in general, if you have a headache, you could take a Tylenol and it could go away.
All right. So we are more than likely going to have to agree to disagree on
You
this.
disagree that Tylenol is general?
No. I'm not
Okay.
saying that. I'm
But
not
no,
saying
but
that.
do you agree-
I'm
no,
just
do you
no.
agree that
I just
everyone takes Tylenol, has
hold
the
up.
same weight, same race, same medical history, same diet. I'm asking you. because
No,
this is-
I hear you. I hear
But
you. I
when
hear
you
you.
guys make the argument that you're being too general, as if our whole life's not being based off of generalities. Most of your
Look,
life
That's
is
why-
based off of
listen, I
limited
love shape. I love shape. You're very knowledgeable. But holding women accountable, I used to do that in the beginning from watching all those red pill videos until I realized it's a fool's errand because the accountability from what I learned and what the Bible teaches us, it's always going to fall on the man, no matter
Mhm.
what. No matter how society views it, how you view it, shape, how I view it, accountability. And I'll give you a great example. No matter how many women I slept with in the past, I'm retired. Not what, barely any of them would ever ask me to put a condom on or use.
Bro, you're not retired, bro.
It's
Damn, he's
I'm
gonna
at a
put him
single,
out there.
like, why you gonna put him on blast like that? Damn.
I'm at a single mom's place right now, so I got to be careful with what I say.
I was wondering, like, bro,
But
where the fuck are you? I was like, where the hell is this
if
dude?
if I blink twice, save me. But it's always the man's
So you're
job to
compromised.
put.
He's
Oh my
compromised.
Yeah.
God.
It's always the
Jesus.
man's job to put the rubber on and lead the way for the women because most women are just going to let you go in there raw. It's rare that some women, like maybe, a couple of them will tell you to put one on, but for even like the most angelic girls, if they're highly attracted to you, it's whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but they have the
So
power to say no, though. And we got to tell women they have the
they
power to
did.
do
So,
that.
no, but you're right. You're
We
absolutely
got to
right. But what
tell
I'm
our
saying is,
daughters you have the right to tell a man to put a condom
with
on.
that
You have the right to tell
example,
a
but
man
with
not
that,
to.
with
Yeah.
that example, if they look up to you and you lead the way for them, they're cool with you wearing one or not wearing one. They won't say anything. But it falls on you. Even if she doesn't want you to wear one, you got to go like, nah, I'm not gonna do this then unless I put a rubber on. Like you know what I mean? Like you're the one that leads the way, and then a lot of this can be prevented from women getting pregnant with these one night stands or with guys that fooled them and sold them a dream, and then they wanted nothing more to do with the woman. That's how I look at things now
Mhm.
Yeah.
from doing this for 2 years because I want men to be accountable and I want men to respect themselves, but also take care of themselves and protect your seed.
You should do that. But we don't just have sons, we have daughters. And we got to tell our daughters how to move. And we can't talk for the sons in the neighborhood to stay away from our daughters. All we can do is raise our daughters to be wolves, not sheep. I have an issue with people not telling women their power. I have a huge issue. Women have a lot of power, and we try to just glaze past it. I have a huge problem with that. Women have the power to refuse a lot of things that's happening in this world. They can refuse it. I think personally, women can single-handedly kill hookup culture. And I hope they do. I hope some group of women at some point start a trend where they're just saying, I'm not for hookup culture. I'm not going to participate in it.
You're not gonna get no
But would that
pushback from.
affect guys like me and you then, Shape?
Absolutely.
Would
And
that
I'm okay
affect
with
guys
that,
like
bro.
you?
I'm okay with it. You know why? Because I'm gonna tell you, someone that has hooked up with a lot of women in their life, it ain't always cracked up to be anyway. You know what I'm saying? This whole pleasure chasing pleasure stuff, it ain't gonna amount to nothing anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to sleep thinking to myself, oh man, I'm so glad I slept with all these beautiful women in my life. Like, bro. After you're done, that post nut clarity, after you bust a nut, you're just like, oh damn, like that wasn't all that. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's not like as a man, like I think we should focus on our goals. We shouldn't focus on dating, chasing women, hookup culture, all those things. We need to stop focusing on that. And as women, I think they need to not focus on that either. I think we need to kill hookup culture, bro. I don't think hookup culture is benefiting Americans at all right now. I think we're suffering poorly because of it. And I think the women are suffering more though, personally. Because I think
But if you look,
sex is a
if you
lot more
look at
expensive for
religion,
women.
if you look at some countries being is frowned upon. It's very frowned upon, and that's why you don't see too many single mothers that are Muslim or very religious, even Jewish, because they know that being married has its perks. But if you are a mother and you can't keep a marriage, it's frowned upon. And most other guys, if you're a single Muslim woman who has children, in America, of course, they're not going to want to remarry you. They're
They're
not going to
not.
want to marry you. But it's
No.
just their culture, their beliefs.
Their culture, they hold women way more
It's
accountable than we
society
do,
changes that.
and they get better women than we do. We hold our women less accountable,
But
and we get worse women.
until America changes their views and society changes as a whole in America, I don't think anything's going to change.
But
more
do
more than
women have
likely
the
not.
power to kill hookup culture? Question for everybody on the panel right now: do women single-handedly have the power to kill hookup culture? Yes or no?
Shay, like I'm telling you now, we're not going to agree on this.
So you don't think women can single-handedly stop hookup culture?
I think everybody can single-handed
No.
men can
Bro,
single-handedly stop hookup culture. Everybody can stop hookup culture. All you have to do is not do it.
But we're gonna measure this to the most specific, finite.
So
right?
do you
We're
think
gonna reduce this to the absolute smallest factor. Yes, okay, men and women, but that's a bigger factor. That's two factor, right? Okay, so do you think men can single-handedly kill hookup culture? Do you think men can single-handedly kill hookup culture?
Yes, both. I think both men and women.
And why could men single-handedly kill hookup culture?
First of all, if we're being honest, obviously we're talking in hypotheticals. No one can kill hookup culture. It's gonna happen no matter what.
No, and see,
it's going to happen.
Agree.
Okay, that's fine.
Here, and it doesn't always have to be here. It wasn't always here.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Do you not
because
read historical accounts?
Bro, we were not living in the 1800s, early 1900s. You do not know what the hell was going on back then.
You don't read books from the 1800s?
Yes,
so
I've read
only
books.
Exists if it's documented.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Women's liberation is a movement. Do you think women's liberation has a time period or it doesn't?
Where do you think it came from? Why would they want to be liberated?
Because there's so different ideologies.
But maybe it's because it was happening and they wanted to be able to do it in the open.
It wasn't happening.
Possible? Okay. Is it fair to say that? Is it fair to say? Because you was like, you feel like we pander to women. Is it fair to say you pander to men because you keep wanting to only put it on women? Is that fair to say? You said you feel like we're pandering to women because we're saying both.
I don't date men. Why would I pander? I don't.
No.
Dating.
We're not. No, we're both married, so we're not dating anybody.
Bro, if I'm pandering to men, that means I'll be trying to get along with you guys.
That's
not necessarily.
That's not necessarily true.
Bro, are you? Am I going against you guys? Yes or no?
Wait, what? No, I'm saying you might be pandering to your audience.
Men,
people pander to their audience. People pander to their audience, not necessarily who you're talking to.
Bro, I'm not pandering to my audience. What I'm saying, Jordan Peterson said. So I could say other intelligent people have talked up like this.
I'm not the only one. Intelligent people talk like us. That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, man. This man discounts every bro. Shout out to you.
That's what you said on the
other
side.
I'm
not discounting it.
I would never want to have an argument with somebody who thinks they could not only make an argument against me, but then judge my argument. They're going to be the judge of our arguments and then make their arguments.
Time out.
You're playing two roles. You're playing the judge of what's going on, and then you playing a plaintiff, and you're making your own argument.
Time out. Do you think someone simply questioning your argument is them judging it? Because I've been questioning your argument this whole time. Like
I don't think I think the words that Logix says is making specific judgments.
You said Jordan Peterson says this.
You said it
and
doesn't
other
matter, correct?
No, I'm okay. I'm sorry. Yes, I said that,
Yeah,
but
oh, wait, hold on. Let's go back. Did you
I
say it
acknowledge
does
my
not matter
mistake.
when okay.
So
when
can
you
let me
make
finish my point.
arguments, bro, when you make an argument though, I don't say that doesn't matter. I just try
The
to
reason
defend your point.
the reason I said it doesn't matter is because it was an appeal to authority. Jordan Peterson is not the speaker of this topic. You said other people say this and they
He
agree
is a
with
clinical
me.
psychologist.
And I said I can quote and say other people agree with me on this topic.
But that's a false equivalency. Just because you can find something on the internet that's not true doesn't mean that all information on the internet is not true.
Wait.
Wait,
about not true?
I said it just like that. Just
no,
because
what do you mean
can
not
fi-
true?
When
You
I
appeal to
point-
Jordan
when-
Peterson. I
when
said I can appeal to
because-
people that agree with
because
what I
he's a
think
cl-
too. So
he's a
that doesn't
credible-
mean anything.
He is a credible clinical psychologist. Is
This
he
is
not?
an appeal to authority, bro.
Bro. I understand his appeal authority because I'm
But
using.
that's fallacious.
But it's not salacious because So when you give a works cited, you don't care about the credentials of your works cited.
This isn't a study.
Bro, I'm making an argument. This is like an essay. My words are like a verbal essay. When I'm making a verbal essay,
but-
I'm producing my works cited, and then you tell me, oh, your works cited don't matter.
I'm telling you that I can find.
Me is unfair. That's unfair way to have a debate with somebody
But
because you're playing the judge.
That's a
and you're playing the
fallacious.
person.
No, I'm telling you that's a fallacious argument because
From
I can
whose
do it and
perspective?
it won't get
We-
it.
but
it
we
won't
don't-
get it. I won't
but
use
we-
that. I won't. You haven't seen me use anecdotes. You haven't seen me
Logics.
appeal to
we
authority.
we don't agree what you just said though. Therefore, you're making a judgment. We don't both agree on that. I don't agree with what I'm saying salacious. That's your perspective. But you don't gotta keep pointing that out. Just prove. But instead of saying it's here, how about this, right? Show and tell. Instead of telling me it's salacious, why don't you prove it's salacious? Why don't you prove that? Why don't you prove that me bringing up Jordan Peterson is such a salacious thing? Prove it right now.
Fallacious. I said it's a fallacious argument.
Prove it.
The reason
Prove
it's
that.
fallacious is because Jordan Peterson isn't an authority over. He isn't an authority over this conversation. Him being
And are you an
educated-
authority over this conversation?
I'm not saying I am. I was telling you that that's a fallacious argument to say like, oh, Jordan Peterson agrees with me, therefore I'm correct.
I'm saying I'm not
That's
the
not how
only.
you have an argument.
You said I was trying to pander to men. Yes or no?
I said, could I say
No,
that?
he was asking a
Ask
question.
You said before I'm trying to pander to men. Yes or no?
No, I
No,
asked you.
he asked a question.
So you never said I'm trying to pander to men.
No,
I
he
asked
asked you a
you.
question. Yeah, he legit asked you a question.
But you're implying by asking that question.
I asked you to get. I asked you because that was
So I
the
said
logic
no.
you
So
had.
He was
I said no.
questioning your logic.
Okay, so I said no. Do you agree that now that I said no, do you agree that I'm not pandering to men?
So we weren't pandering to women there, right?
No, I don't agree that. I believe you're pandering to women.
Well, then that's
I'm just telling you what I believe.
Then that's what I'm saying. That
And
you're
allowed to
you're
believe I'm
holding
pandering
two
to men.
contradictory stances.
You're allowed to be about pandering men, but that proves my point that I said when you believe that I'm pandering to men, I bring up the argument. I'm not the only one saying this, and I bring up a clinical psychologist, and then you say, "Oh, you can't use that. That's salacious."
He didn't say that
when
you.
I make an argument, you discount it, but you're not any more of an authority than Jordan Peterson is either. You're not a clinical psychologist either. You're not more of a person that understands human behavior more than him either. You're not an authority on human behavior. This guy actually is an authority on human behavior. So he's the expert. We can only refer to him. We can't challenge him in a way because we're not experts.
I don't know.
So that's why I'm not, unless you think you're an expert, because that's what it sounds like. When I talk to you, it sounds like you think you're the expert.
I'm literally saying why I'm not. Like I don't know why you're saying
so
that.
when I point to the experts, you can't discount the expert. You're not the expert. You don't have the authority to discount an expert. You're not an expert.
I didn't. You're not comprehending.
You called it salacious.
Fallacious, and I said
whatever fallacious. Okay, so
because
it's a
fallacious
person without any authority and without any expert is calling an expert.
Do you know if? Never mind.
Yeah, we're just gonna go in circles with this one
because you can't challenge my
You
argument.
realize you dodged. You literally dodged the premise of what I said. You're holding two contradictory stances,
bro. You keep doing it.
I asked you, could we say you pander to men because you harp on women all day, and because you said we pander to women because we're saying hold both people accountable. We're not even saying like, oh, women are victims and it's always men. We're saying
I'm trying to
no,
tell you
hold
that women
everybody.
have more power than us to determine what child is born in this world. You cannot force a woman to have a kid.
That's cool.
Yes no?
Okay.
But we need to start from a place that we could agree on because all you're doing right now, and we're just yelling at each other, bro. When realistically, I'm trying to get to the bottom line. What can we really agree on?
No, you're not.
Do you
Wait,
believe?
hold up, time out. If we're being honest here, we are more than likely just going to go in circles because we are not going to agree, which is fine. That's
But
totally
why can't we
fine.
agree? When I ask the question, do women have more choice in if what child is born? If a child's born in this world, do women have more power in deciding that?
Shape, no matter what we say, bro, we're constantly going to go into circles.
No,
Like,
but why don't you just answer the question though? Do women have unilateral? Can they veto what if a child's born? Yes or not? The fact that you're dodging to me is
I'm not.
showing
Oh,
you're pandering to women.
we're
Answer the question,
dodging,
yes or no? Yes or no? Just it's a yes or no question.
bro.
Can women say? Can I force a woman to give birth to a child? Yes or no? You see? You see? Hey, Zanya, can I force a woman to have a child?
Yo,
No, you
Chat,
can't.
anyone in the chat, can I force any woman to have a
But
child?
that's not the
That's
dump
not
that
the.
you think it is.
But
Like
that's
it doesn't.
bro. It's
We
my,
aren't
every time I
answering
make an
because we're
argument-
frustrated.
No, but when I make an argument, you guys say, but that's not the argument. Bro, that's my argument. When I respond to you guys, you keep saying, but that's not the argument. Bro, I'm making an argument. I want you to address my points. These are my talking points. You said we're going to have a debate. I address your talking points. I want you to address my talking points. My talking points is that women have full control over if a child's born in this.
We've literally been trying to address your talking
So
points.
yes or
we
no?
have
Yes or no?
told you, bro. Shape. I literally am going to say the same thing that I've been saying to you this entire debate. Both people have agency. All right, it's just as much the woman's fault as it.
Man. It's okay.
See how it
Because
doesn't understand because
can you
wait, Shape.
my
All right,
purpose
Shape.
is-
Oh wait. Time out. All right, let me ask you a question. How easy it is for you not to have sex? How easy is it for you to wear a condom? How easy? It's easy, right?
Very easy.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so we
easy.
agree there, correct?
Yes, we agree there. So
you see how I allowed you to make your argument and I
Yes.
answered the question? Okay, now answer my question. Can I force a woman to have a child?
No, you cannot force a woman to
Can
have
a
a
woman have a
child.
child against my will?
Is it really against your wait? No. Time out. But you cannot Shape. But you can't say that though. You cannot. No, Shape. You cannot say it's a. You cannot say it's against your will. You cannot say it's against your will when you willingly went in raw.
If I came in a condom, tied it up, throw it in the garbage can, she went behind my back, took that condom out, took a turkey baster, and sucked the condom, took the cum out the condom.
I'm
put
pretty.
it in her fucking vagina.
I'm pretty sure.
If she gets
Wait.
pregnant, hold on. You know, by the way, that's not illegal.
No. Wait. Time out. I'm pretty.
Got in a lot of trouble for putting hot sauce. He actually got sued for putting hot sauce in his condom because a girl went with a turkey baster, inserted it into her vagina, and got burned.
I told you, the more status, the more alpha you are, the more you got to protect
now
your
you
seed,
said general. Now that's the craziest situation to be in.
Because, again, you're judging my bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. It makes it seem like you're. I'm gonna just try this. I'm trying to say it as politely as possible, bro. You can discount people's arguments all you want, but that's telling and not showing.
I have a question.
When you have a debate, show that use your examples in your debate to show that what I'm saying is not correct. Don't just say it's incorrect.
I didn't say it's incorrect. I said that's an extreme.
But you said it's the
example.
wildest statement.
Wait. So you telling me that's just the move women make? They get basters and just get. Is that the move?
All I'm trying to say is when you try to debate me, bro, just use your own argument to debate me. When you say stuff like,
you're making
that
argument,
don't
I
count.
can attack
You
it.
can't use this. You can't do that. You're playing.
You should be willing to back up your argument, bro. Like,
Hold up.
I ain't backing up an argument.
So stop complaining about me attacking it. Why would you complain about me attacking your argument in a debate?
When I ask you, can I force a woman to have a child? None of you guys can answer.
Hold up, but I have a question though. You said if you tie up a condom. First of all, when does sperm die? Let's talk about that really quick.
No idea. I think it lives in a girl's body for a while. If it goes.
No. It can live in the girl's body for a while, but like when it hits air, like how long can it? Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to that, you said you tie up.
You mind if I smoke on your what you call it?
You said what?
You mind if I smoke on your live stream?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you straight. I think you good. Okay. But going back to what you said about a man tying up the condom and throwing it in the trash, shouldn't he have the agency to take that shit with him, like to put it in a little baggie?
I'm saying
I
to
swear
you,
to
my
God,
friend,
sometimes I take
a
it with
girl
me.
could
I
still.
Thank you, Czar. Thank you. I
Oh
used to
yeah,
do that
because
shit all the time.
But the point I'm
I
trying to
know
say
the
is that
evil nature of women. Like I
that's.
understand the
Thank you.
evil nature that women have,
Why
right?
bother with women if they're evil?
Because but you just got to be smart. Like you gotta understand, you as a man, you have to be like a fox, like intelligent. You
I
have to be
agree.
witty. You have to be several steps ahead. You got to be several because I'm not worried about what a woman's going to do if you vetted her properly or you take proper precautions. I'm taking the condom with me. I'm not leaving anything behind. Don't care, right? I'll wash my clothes after. Throw it out where I can see it and not her.
Yeah,
But that's a good question though, Watts. Like, how long does it take before sperm cells
Let me see
die?
here.
but again,
But
this goes.
the fact that you even got to worry about that, it takes away all the accountability from the woman.
How?
Because it says that the man has to go through the trouble of not getting his sperm
Wait,
stolen from him. He has to go through all this
but
trouble. When we should say women don't steal a man's sperm. Why can't
but
we say that?
but shape.
We're telling men
Obviously,
not to sleep with women and bust nuts in them. We can't tell women don't steal their sperm.
shape. I'm not saying that. I'm
Well, that's what
saying
I'm trying to
that's
tell you. But
terrible.
I'm
I'm
telling you,
saying that's trash.
if
You
a
should not
woman's
do that.
doing that, do you know that's not illegal?
I don't know where that ties into this argument.
It ties into the argument because I'm trying to tell you that if she conceives a child from stealing your sperm, you can't force her to get an abortion.
Well, look,
If a
that
woman steals your sperm, you cannot force her to get an abortion. Yes or no?
I
And
mean,
this is where women have power, and you guys keep glazing over this. Like women have no power. They're vulnerable. They're victims. We need a cape for them.
I
We need
didn't
a
say
white man.
that. I didn't.
I'm not saying. I'm not, bro. I don't
Hold up.
repeat. I'm not repeating what you're saying. I'm making an accusation based on the idea that if I draw out a claim and I say women could steal your sperm, this is a true thing. They can steal your sperm. They can do it today. They can do it tomorrow. It's not illegal.
I
Paternity fraud is not illegal. You know
No,
that,
I
right?
understand and I agree with
Okay.
you on that front.
So
I agree with you on that front. But
okay, so
listen,
if a
hold
woman
up.
steals your sperm, she could
Yes,
go through
shape.
with the pregnancy.
That's bad. Yes, that's
No, not
bad.
that it's just bad. Well, not just bad. She could steal your sperm with impunity. Is the point of the problem.
Yes,
Let's talk
shape.
about. I'm
You're
gonna take off this subject really quickly, right? We're gonna go off the subject really quickly.
hold up. No. Wait. Before you do that,
Okay.
there is something that you have to acknowledge. The only reason why Logix and we keep bringing up these different scenarios is strictly because you said just like you said how we're caping for women and all of that. You are specifically talking from the perspective of the man, and you haven't given any agency to men this entire time.
Bro,
That's why we are
Bro, I'm
arguing.
an example. I just told you I'm 37 years old, no children. Do you think I got there on accident? That was one of my earliest arguments. I'm giving myself the same accountability. I'm not a single dad. I'm not Cooley. I'm not running around pretending like, you know what I'm saying, single moms are trash and I'm dating a single mom.
Manipulation.
You feel me? So what I'm trying to say is I live what I preach. This is why my audience is growing. Shout out to me. If you guys want to find me, call me Shape. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Shout out to Watch too, because me and Watch been fucking with each other for over 2 years.
Yeah,
And I've been
Watts.
watching them grow.
I
You know what I'm
realized
saying?
who you are now because I just saw a video of you ripping apart
Ripping Fresh and Fit. Yeah, I told you about that. I told you about that.
Yeah,
That's how
Me
Watts,
and him
I'm
were
everybody
not
find
talking on
there.
the phone
Watts.
that.
You ripped them apart on the
Watch.
Castle Club.
We agree with that. We
That's how
agree with
The
that.
everybody
Castle Club membership.
find
Watts,
Watts is
I
fresh
was
and fit.
I was
Yo,
dying the entire
we agree
time
with that.
because Myron said you made a great point where he said he doesn't need money. He's got 6 real estates he invested in. Oh no, he's got 20. He's worth over $6 million, and yet they're begging for like $100 per month on
Right.
their
Yo,
Castle
that's
Club.
why he popped. Watch pop from just destroying Fresh and Fit, and I'm so happy about it. I'm happy about
I
it. So
could
y'all
watch
think we're
those
such rope?
shows.
You think
I
we're
could
such
watch
red
that all
pillars?
day.
But
I
people think we're
appreciate
such red
it.
pillars,
I hate
and
them.
I'm agreeing with the demise of
Like
a red
Shape
pillar.
knows how much I hate him.
Yeah, bro. I fuck with Watts more than
I
I
hate
fuck with
this
Myron.
community.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go on Myron's live stream.
Yeah. And
Facts.
like and I just wanted to be known just because we disagree, we got a little heated. Like I'm like Logix and I are not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. We seriously just have questions. Like it's nothing, like we're not even trying to, like, especially
But
when you say like us laughing, we just animated people, bro. Like
yeah,
if
and I think the biggest thing though, when you listen to people's argument, you just want to make sure it's logical. I want
That's
you guys to determine if what I'm
that's why I pry at yours. Like that's why I'm asking you questions and pushing
right.
back. I
So
want to make sure
can
there's
you follow that?
consistency.
What I'm saying? Am I following logically, or am I following some bullshit narrative? I'm laying out my narrative.
Well, you have to. Yeah, and I know, and I was questioning it, and you started talking about Jordan Peterson when I was saying, like, when you said we pander, I was trying to see if you were holding that same standard, because I don't see how pandering to women is saying everybody needs to move better versus it seems like your argument is there's more that we need to put on men, I mean on women, because men don't have the same power, which even if we agree, it takes a lot of agency away from the men, and that's why I was saying like we're just like passive people.
It's not that it. But if you can't force a woman to have a child, and a woman can have a child against your will, that means she has a power you don't have.
All right, so wait, we going in circles again.
No, but it's not. But yeah, not that. See, this is my issue. Every time I make an argument, we're going in circles.
Because we just went through this. We just went through. I answered your question. I answered your question like 3 times.
My question to you: do women have more power then?
I honestly wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
If I was a girl, I believe I would have more power if I could decide to keep your child against your will. Because I can't make a girl get an abortion.
I understand that. I understand your position.
If she wants to. She can carry the child if she wants to.
I understand that.
I can't influence either of those decisions.
And this is exactly why I say we're going to go in circles, because then I'm going to say, well, then some agency also lies upon men. We're going to keep going into circles. So in order to prevent us from doing that, I have one last thing to touch upon, and then we can get out of here. I will leave questions up to the chat if they have any questions up to you guys. One last thing that I wanted to talk about really quick was incentives. Because again, did I already bring this point up before? Did we talk about incentives?
I don't think so.
Okay. So someone made the argument that there are no incentives for a man to date a single mom. Would you guys not agree that a potential incentive would be to have a partner and a potential stepkid that they might like care for and love?
No, because the good outweighs the bad. I mean, the bad outweighs the good, bro.
See, Shape's always going to look at things logically. Like you'll see things logically, Shape, and you're very knowledgeable. But it's so you think the bad outweighs the good, incentive wise, being with a single.
I want single moms to make an argument why it's better to date them than a woman without children, and it seems like impossible to make that because you would have to almost suggest that having a child has no magnitude, no gravity, no impact on your life, and it's impossible to say that because we know how much children cost. They're time intensive.
That's why
they need a lot.
That's why I think the heuristic should be based off the person and not them having a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But there's circumstance. I'm talking about you being a single mom. If you're a single mom, that's your circumstance. Yeah. Okay? You have to raise a kid from a man you don't even like. You're literally nurturing. This is why for us men...
Actually, say that part again. You got a kid that
if you're a single mom by choice, meaning that you decided not to be with the man because of whatever frivolous scenario. He cheated, he did this, he did that, he's a bad person, whatever. Okay, fine, fair enough. But now it's on you. It's your responsibility, your morality to raise a child by a man you don't even like now.
What if he just left her and she didn't want that outcome?
She still has to raise a child, but she's still not going to like him.
Well, no,
what girl's going to like a man that leaves her?
Because you was like, she made a choice. I believe you said she made a choice or whatever.
Yeah, it seems to me that you think women are victims. They just become single moms.
No, I think it varies.
I don't think they're victims.
It varies. I didn't say they were.
I don't have to victimize. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it to imply it.
There's no implication. I said it varies.
It is when you say that. It is an implication. It is an implication because the presumption is that when you say that, anyone. Well, we need to know the person. All these scenarios. You're pretty much suggesting that. Well, we need to go further and expect this to try to see why this is this way, and we can. But why are we going through the effort in the first place? Why
because you may like that woman.
Why am I going through the effort? But she's just a person.
So I'm saying, like, if you like, she's a person that they potentially could like, right?
It's almost like saying this: if you have two cars at the same price, but one has 50,000 miles more than the other car, are you going to go through the hassle to see if the car with 50,000 more miles is better off? Are you going to just say, well, 50,000 is a lot more miles, I'll just take the car with less miles?
Well, I mean, if it's a shittier car, then no.
If you're looking at two cars, all things being equal, they're two women, they're both attractive. All things being equal.
Well, let's talk about the
They
women.
both come from good families.
Let's talk
All
about the
things being
women.
equal.
Like that's what I
The
said.
only
The
thing
cars
different is one has a child, one doesn't. All things are the same. They're just as good looking as each other. They're just kind as each
you're
other.
you're not gonna get a disagreement from me with that specific scenario. I would never.
That's what generalizations are. We only accounting for when we talk about.
Well, you just said all things are equal, and in real life, people aren't equal. You know what I'm saying? In real life,
understandably, but this is where generalities take a place, though.
Yes, but I'm fine with generally saying like, hey, if a woman like disrespects her kid, I would stay away from her because that is a flaw in who they are. Simply having a kid doesn't tell you shit for how that person could treat you and what you could be in for within that relationship. It literally means nothing in the grand scheme of things.
From your perspective, I think it means a lot.
So Logix, in Shape's scenario, I believe over 90% of guys would obviously choose the woman who doesn't have children.
Yeah, and I agree.
I don't know why that's so hard.
We agree with that.
No,
we agree with that. We agree with that. That was one of my first. That was one of my first statements. We agree with that.
The only argument against single moms is that this is a general argument. It's not dealing with the nuances. But you're right. Life has. I never said life didn't have nuance. I gave you a scenario. If there's a dumbass woman who is overweight, out of shape, and she's rude, but she has no kids, and then there's a single mom who's well-to-do, attractive, and she knows how to get along with a man, I'm gonna choose a single mom every time, right? But that's only if the other girl has a disadvantage against her. But what if they're on the same playing field? What if they look just as good as each other? Well, if all things are the same, you choose a woman without kids.
Yeah, and that hypothetical, that's fine. But that's why I said everybody's not the same. Because say you meet.
But generalization is not trying to account for everything.
But a good conversation doesn't come from A or B. Like there's no point having a conversation. Like you're not gonna get us disagreeing with like if everything was the same. Like yeah, of course we're gonna agree with that. But we're talking about the nuances and what's more productive for people to do. What gets you a better result?
For nuances in these conversations.
If we was having a conversation about working out and you was to just be like, yeah, go to the gym and lift weights. Like, okay, yes, that's true, but that doesn't help people if we're trying to really figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I get the most out of my workouts when I go for 2 hours twice a week? You know what I'm saying? If I'm worried about cardio, what do I need to do? Like, there's different things we could talk about to have a better, more productive conversation. Because we could just be here and be like, yeah, I mean, if everybody's the same and one has a kid and one doesn't, everybody's going to pick the one without the kid. I mean, that's not a fun conversation to have.
It's like if you ask a woman, if you have two men that are exactly the same, one has more money than the other one, they're identical, she's going to choose to do it with more money. She's not going to go investigating why the one dude has less money. And that's what you're asking us to do when you say, well, you got to look at the nuance of a single mom. But you're pretty much saying that what am I going through the trouble of trying to discover why she's a single mom when there's a woman just like her age, her beauty, might even be younger than her, that has no children.
Hold on, Shape. Going back to what you said if a woman gets presented with a man with no money opposed to a man with a bunch of money,
all things being the same, would she choose a man with more money?
Would she choose the man with more money? Again,
yes, all things being the same.
Again, that depends, because if you ask a woman like my wife, she's gonna say if you corny or you a piece of shit, I'm not gonna pick.
All things being the same. All things being the same.
Oh, all things being the same.
Yes, all things being the same.
Okay,
if you have two jobs, job A,
apology.
Job A, B, they're the same type of job. They have all the same responsibilities, but job A pays $30,000 more than job B. Are you going to go through the hassle and try to figure out why job B doesn't pay as much, $30,000 as much? You're not going to go through that hassle.
If all things are equal, right? That's why I said
if all things
that's not the heart of the argument.
But it is because that's the only way you can talk about generalities. Well, I say that's the heart. What you just said right there, I disagree. I say that is the heart of the argument. The heart of the argument is based off of. That's why that phrase exists. If all things are equal, it exists to address this whole nuance thing because it's hard to do that. Just like
I just feel like all people are equal though. That's why it's not.
Bro, 9 out of 10 times, if there's an intruder at a watch door at 3 a.m. in the morning, 9 out of 10 times, he's going to treat them the way we assume that this guy's here on no good. He's on some bullshit. 9 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point I'm trying to say. We don't always have all the information.
Women to robbers. That's
I'm not equating them. I'm relating the relationship of saying that see, this is the disingenuous thing that people do. I'm not saying that they're
I'm
equivalent.
sorry, I didn't mean equate. I didn't mean that.
I'm
word.
not saying that they're equivalent. I'm not saying they're equivalent. What I'm saying is scenario wise is that when you have limited information and this is the limited information, what are you gonna do? That's what I'm saying. If I don't know anything about a girl, all I know she's a single mom. If all things else are equal, I'm not gonna prefer a woman with kids. I don't know why it's so hard to understand. It's very simple.
We're not
We
there.
didn't disagree with that.
And that's it. And so then you agree with TK Kirkland's argument then.
No.
No.
But well,
Because that's
I
not what he
just told-
said. Nobody.
not what
if somebody said, you know
But
what I'm
that's
saying?
what
Like,
he
I think a rule
meant.
of thumb is to, try to don't date women with kids. I'm really not gonna argue with that. That's not like a hot take. The man said it's
Right.
a mental illness to be a stepdad. That's a bit bridge too far, I would think.
That what?
I can't even count him to be credible. If he has 7 children, I can't.
Facts.
But that doesn't mean it.
I
No, that's ad hominem though.
How
no,
is
it's
wait
not
wait
an ad
that's
hominem.
not an ad hominem, because if he's talking about single mother, he's literally making single mothers. He made 7
That's what I
single
mean.
mothers.
You can't be a hypocrite and say something hypocritical if just like that one guy, Fugazi. The Fugazi podcast. There was another
Yeah.
red pill. So
Mhm.
he would shit on single mothers left and right constantly. And then come to find out he was exposed for being with a single mother who was a white woman raising her children. Like, to me, that's just so hypocritical. Like, how are
It
you
is,
going to
but
talk smack
it
about
is. But
single
you want to know
mothers
what's funny
and then
though? It doesn't change
you're
whether
you're
his
with
message is
one?
correct or not though. Your message. This is why the
But to me,
phrase.
it's still hypocritical, though. I understand what
It
you're
is.
saying,
It
Shake,
is.
but to
But
me,
it
you
is
can only
hypocritical
say
for him
that
to say it.
if you're not raising another man's child and you're dating a woman who doesn't have children. Okay, you have every right to say that. But the fact that he's hating on them and you're dating the same woman you're hating on, to me, that's hypocritical. That's like guys looking up to Future and he has children with like 10 different baby mamas. Like, to me, that's
Why is
not a
it
good role model. In
like?
my
I don't. I
Agreed.
agree. I agree with you. But the phrase kill the message, not the messenger. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill the messenger. It relates to the fact that you could be right even though your argument could be right even though you're wrong as an individual the way you live your life. Because I could say a woman could say I'm a single mom, right? But I don't think men should date single moms. A woman could say that, and she could say it because as being a single mom, she knows
Yeah,
the
but the
bad decisions
difference
she made.
hypocrisy is about the moral condemnation. It's not necessarily engaging in the same behavior. So
Hypocrisy doesn't require
Mm.
moral combination.
yes, that's literally what hypocrisy is. Hypocrisy is when you
You have to
morally
cut-
condemn people for something that you yourself engage in. It's not just simply experiencing something and doing something and telling somebody else not to.
Hypocrisy has to do with moral
Yes,
completely.
yes.
You
Like
can't separate
if I'm a smoker and I tell somebody you shouldn't smoke, that's not hypocrisy.
The literal definition of hypocrisy is the practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform.
Okay, so I stand corrected there. And you see how I did that? I'm allowing you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just giving an example. This is an example of me saying, okay, you're right on this. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem being wrong, and I want people to know that I'm that objective. That if you say something, and I'll listen to what you say and say, all right, you're right. I asked the question and you proved yourself right. That's an example.
No, yeah. When I use the wrong terms, I corrected myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. We both gotta be able to be objective. Okay, cool. So you're right. I didn't know hypocrisy. You just taught me something. I actually had no idea hypocrisy had to do with moral.
It's a
So I
common
did not know that.
misunderstanding with that.
Yeah, I had no idea. So, you're right. Then he is a hypocrite. I agree. Then by definition, he's a hypocrite. But all I'm just trying to say is that even though he's a hypocrite, it could still be good information.
Yeah.
Do as I
But
say, not as I do, type of thing.
But it kind of, you have no more validity. You don't have any type of reputation at that point. You don't have any credibility. If you're saying something like that and you're being hypocritical about it, you lost all credibility at that point. It's similar to Fresh and Fit when they would preach about never dating OnlyFans chicks or don't pay women, don't be a trick.
Mhm.
And then they're on secret arrangement websites. And you're like, wait a minute. Like, that just ruined all your credibility you had. Like, I will never respect the person like that. But someone that practices what they preach, I'll always respect that person.
All right.
That way, shape.
So
I gotta get one.
Yeah. So real quick, I do have some super chats to read. Yo, shout out to everybody that has super chatted
They
so
went
far.
crazy.
Yeah, I know. Chris is going crazy. Chris has a couple of things to say.
Go ahead.
He said, here's a counter analogy. Working with generalizations, in my opinion, shape shows cowardice. You have to experience love like a knife fight. I'm not sure I understand what he means by that
He went
last
ad
part.
hominem right away. He shows cowardice because I use generalities. The world's based on generalities. The hospital has general practice, general
Well,
practitioners.
well,
The
general.
world's based off of generalities. Small, medium, large are generals.
No,
Tylenol is general.
so generalities are used to tell us something, but it's kind of counterintuitive to apply them to individuals. So like when you want to understand like something on a large scale, it's like men are generally taller than women, and we can objectively measure that. But there's no real objective measure to being a mom and what that means in a relationship across the board. Like there is just a bad way to gauge when you're looking for relationships. Is just not an ideal or even a top 50 thing to look at. Maybe not 50, but it's just to focus on it as if it's an end all be all thing. I think that's a bad heuristic. I think something that could be an end all be all is if you meet somebody that has a history of being abusive. There's no need to figure anything out in that situation. If they have a history of being abusive, I think you could walk off and be cool with the decision you made. You could walk off and be cool without dating a single mom too. But to put that at the forefront of like, if she's a mom, don't do it. It's just kind of like you're missing so many things that matter so much more.
Right. And honestly, I mean, Shape, when it comes to this particular topic, I would understand more instead of you using generalities. I would understand more if you said all of this is anecdotal. I'd be like, okay, so you experienced this a couple of times, so that I understand why you feel the way that you feel. Even then, I would understand.
I just don't. I just think that this whole we got to look at the world through nuance. That there's no right and wrong. Everything's black and white. I mean,
Some things
everything's
are, yeah.
gray. I don't. I don't agree with that. There's some things that are black and white. There's some things that are gray. We talk about nuance as if nuance can only exist with generalities. You know what I'm saying? Like nuance can't exist by itself. Nuance is something that says it deviates from what's general. That's
No,
the whole point.
no, it gets to,
There,
no,
there.
it don't.
You need both of them to exist. Nuance can't exist by itself.
But
So
I was gonna say no. We're saying there are generalities and things, and you could use them in life. But when we're talking about something as personal as dating, and the barometer is if they're a mom, there's nothing to really say that that's necessarily something to go off of. That's what there's
it's just
nothing.
in
There's no way you can measure that in real life. There's no objective way to measure that and what that means.
you
Versus, like
can
I
if
said,
you
people that have a
investigate.
history of abuse, people that have a history of drug use, people that hell, people don't like when people find out that they partner, if they both got sickle cell, then they don't date them. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that matter when you're in a relationship, but the soul got a kid, that's not proven in anything. It's no objective way to look at that as a heuristic to base who you date off of. It tells you absolutely nothing.
And
I think
honestly,
so. Having no kids don't tell you anything about somebody.
No,
no,
If a girl's 42 years old, she doesn't have any kids. It doesn't tell you anything about her.
no.
not really.
All right.
Yeah, we can
I,
agree we can
yeah,
agree
we
to,
can
to
disagree.
disagree on
Yeah,
that
we
because
I
I don't think
respectfully, I
so.
agree. Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't think so
So
because all right,
okay.
okay, wait. All right, so let me ask you a question. Because a lot of guys they like to say, women like to focus on their career. So let's say if a woman is in her 40s, she doesn't have any kids, but she's very successful within her own career. Would you label that woman as a bad person, or would you label that woman like sketchy because she doesn't have any children?
I'm gonna come to a conclusion about it.
But okay, so what is the conclusion that you're going to come to though?
That she missed her mark and she's running out of time to have children. So she misused her years. She might have put her career before having a family. I'm gonna judge her for that. At 42, I actually rather you have kids.
But
I
why
so
but
all
why are
this
we
being to
judging
say,
people for not having kids at a certain age? Why are we judging women for not having
because after a certain age, you won't be able to have kids.
But what if they just simply don't want kids?
They don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of women. We don't talk. We talk like every woman that hits 42 that has no children is happy. Not every woman's child is happy.
No,
In
I'm
fact,
I'm, I'm not
they
saying
said
that.
that women are going to be 20, 20, 20, 30, 49% of women are going to be single and childless above the age of 35, and they're not going to be happy.
Well, I feel like, see, again, and I feel like there is a lot of nuance within this conversation, because there is also another study out there. I can find it really quick. There's also another study out there that says women are currently do not want to have children because of our current economy. Like, they financially, they don't want to be responsible for a child. So what would you say to that?
I mean, to me, any woman that don't want children, I'm going to judge her for not wanting children. I don't
Yeah,
feel like she's living in her purpose. I don't think that we're put on this earth to just have fun and have a good time. But a lot of people treat it like that. We have a cavalier attitude towards life, and we think that we're in this world just for pleasure. It's hedonistic. It's debauchery. And I don't condone hedonism or debauchery. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to, that's fine, but I don't. You feel me? So I think that I'm Christian. I think we have purpose. I don't think we're just here. I don't think I have two balls just so I could go around finding girls to lick them. I don't think it just exists for straight pleasure. I think I have use. I think God put me on this planet and I have a specific purpose. Just like women, we have purpose in life.
God put you on this planet. So you just talked about hedonism and all that. So are you a virgin?
No,
Isn't that kind of
it's fornication.
isn't that hypocritical to what you just said?
It's fornication.
But isn't that hypocritical to what you just said?
Well, yes, yeah. I am a hypocrite for that. According to the
Okay.
moral, yeah. But I believe it's wrong. If I could go back in time, if you could ask me what I'd do differently, I might stay a virgin. If I
Okay.
had to tell my son how to make his life better than me, I would say you don't need to go sleep around with people. And I think that's okay for me to tell my son, don't do what I did.
So question. So would you feel like a woman, I mean, you probably say yes, but a woman should, like, if she's a God-fearing woman, she's a Christian too, like yourself, and she is like, well, you had sex before marriage, so I can't date you. Do you feel like she's completely in the right for her to be like, no, I'd rather not date you?
Yeah, a girl could reject me for any reason. There's a lot of people in the comments rejecting me for all types of reasons, and they're allowed to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I
So
believe I'm the captain of the ship, right? I'm the captain of the ship. So I'm not looking for a woman to provide and protect me. So therefore, I don't have to live up to her standard because I don't necessarily want her to take care of me. I'm the
well,
employer.
you don't have to live up to her standard
I'm
to
the
take care
employer,
of her.
right?
You
I'm,
just
I'm
want
the
her.
employer.
You want
I'm
her.
the employer.
I'm sorry.
I'm the employer. So if a woman does not want to don't want to get hired to my job, that's her prerogative, right? But I'm going to offer, when it comes to women, I look at it like employment, right? Dating is kind of like employing a girl, right? Hiring a girl. When you choose a wife, what Watts did, he hired his woman to become his wife. That's one of the most important choices you could possibly make. And if he chose a good woman, he made a good choice, right?
Mm.
No difference if he chose a bad woman, he made a bad choice. It's the same. So the person you choose, the person you sleep with, can have a big impact on your life. And hookup culture says hook up with everybody, sleep with everybody, and there should be no consequences, even if you get pregnant and have a child. And I think that's false. There should be a consequence for it.
The where we disagree on that is basically that children shouldn't be treated as consequences, and there's not a blanket reason that women have kids and become single. There's no one reason that it happens. So to treat them all the same,
And there's no one
would be
reason why
doing
a car might have
would be a
50,000 miles more than the
disservice.
next car. There's no one reason.
It,
It could be highway miles. It could be multiple owners. There's
to me,
no one
those
reason.
two things, to me, I cannot connect those two.
If you're gonna
things.
hire a person for a job, there could be multiple reasons why they don't have a college degree. But if your standard is you must have a college degree to get this job, we could shame you for having that standard, but that's your standard. We tell
I'm not
women
shame-
we tell women to have high standards, and we tell men to have low standards.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't know who's telling. I'm
Okay,
not saying that.
so we
but
tell women to choose a good man, but when I'm trying to choose a good woman, it's no, you can't do that. You can't do
Nobody said no. Again, nobody's
My
telling.
standard is if you have a child, you don't meet the job requirements, therefore you can't get hired.
That's fine. On like where we keep saying this isn't about telling men to date women. I'm saying that if it's you could do what you want with your life, but it's false. I think I'm pretty confident in my stance that it isn't a good barometer to tell people to date. If you're in the business of giving dating advice, is what I'm saying. I don't think it's a good barometer because you're just leaving so much on the table.
And so if you give dating advice, don't do that. But men like me, we tell people, and I'll stand by it. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, don't date single moms. There's exceptions, but the rule is generally don't date single moms.
So,
Okay.
so does that mean we also won't disparage single moms too? If it
What do you mean?
we don't disparage single moms either, right? Like we don't
I
treat them
think
like the bane of existence.
Nah, because listen, I respect all people. Listen, I train single moms. So some of my clients are single moms.
I mean, I don't expect you to be like,
You
oh,
know
get
what
away
I'm
from me.
saying?
I'm just talking about like,
Some
I
of
don't
my
know your
clients
content, so I'm
some
just
of my
asking.
clients are fat, but that doesn't mean I should date fat women because I'm helping them.
Again, I'm not. That wasn't what I was getting at. I'm not. I'm not saying you walk
I don't
around.
think you should jump off a building if you're a single mom. No, you have value as a person. You still have value as a person. If you're a woman, you still have value. I know a lot of great single mothers. I know a lot of great single moms.
And do
I don't think
they
should,
deserve to find somebody to be with them? Do they deserve that?
I don't know if everyone. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so.
But if you just said they're great and they're good
yeah,
people,
but your sexual market value is a specific thing.
but so okay, so single moms that are good people might be good in a
But that doesn't
relationship.
mean
I'm
they
not
deserve
saying you.
to play
I'm
in
saying,
the NBA.
does that mean
that
nobody should? Is because of just the sole reason that they're a single mom now they can't date nobody as great as person they are. They shouldn't be with anybody, or and their kids should grow up without a parent, another parent.
That is not for me to. I can't determine what their life should be.
Well, if you're,
I think if I was
you're
a single
telling men
mom,
not to date them.
If I was single, if I was a single mom, right? If I was a single mom, I would try to become exceptional to try to make up for the cost of me being a single mom.
Okay,
That's what I
so
would do.
out of curiosity, what would that look like?
Well, one thing for sure, I wouldn't be like the girls in these comments. The girls in these comments are unruly, right? And they clearly don't know how to cooperate with a man, and they clearly value their own opinion more than they value the opinion of others. I don't do that. I value everyone's opinion equally. They're all opinions, and this is why I relate. This is why I rely on experts. When we don't know things, and anyone can have an opinion. Lord Jamar, the dude Logic, you ripped Lord Jamar for you, and I watched that video. You ripped him. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you because Lord Jamar has an opinion, but he's challenging someone that is a subject matter expert. Mm-hmm. The dude had millions and millions of views debunking flat Earth. Lord Jamar just runs around with an opinion, and he wants us to value his opinion equally to the expert. That's where we're foolish. I will never pretend to be an expert. I rely on experts. That's why I do research. That's why I study, because I can't be an expert in all things. But people in the comments are acting like they're dating experts. Therefore, they're going to smear me and disagree with my argument. But to me, it means that they have bad judgment as individuals. You have bad judgment if you can't listen to someone's argument and see if they follow logic. I'm following logic. Whether you like what I'm saying or not is logical. You can follow what I'm saying. That's why it's important.
Wait, but at the same time, just because they disagree with what you're saying, I don't think that automatically brands them as them being illogical. And I forgot what other word that.
If you can't tell when someone's logical or not. You can't determine if someone's logical or not. Was Lord Jamar being logical?
But the comments aren't Lord Jamar.
No, I think the commentators are very much like Lord Jamar. Personally, I think everyone in the comments are very much like Lord Jamar. They got they got an opinion. Fine, we all have an opinions, and this is why I think we need to refer to the experts to come to our conclusions. If we come to our conclusions in a vacuum, what does that really say about what we're saying? We don't have any evidence to back it up.
Real quick,
we argue things that have no evidence.
Real quick, my wife just came in here and she said we act like we are experts because we are women and we are currently talking about women. Basically, they are speaking from their own perspective. That's why they disagree with
experts, you. No, and they're allowed to, but experts meaning that they're the ones that we could follow their advice when it comes to how to live our lives.
What exactly? Which part of this convo are you referring to? Experts having the information on, like what part?
So I'm saying people in the comments they disagree with me, but they might disagree with me because emotionally what I'm saying rubs them the wrong way. But it might be rubbing the wrong way because of the indoctrination that they were given throughout their life. They were told, be a 304, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Body count don't matter. Be obese, it don't matter.
I mean, you don't know that.
That's a whole ideology. What do you mean I don't? That's what we're sold.
No, I don't. No, you don't.
That's not the zeitgeist right now.
But you don't know that
You never heard of body
though.
positivity?
No, I heard of body
Okay.
positivity, but
Is
why
that
do
that
you think that every woman in the comments subscribe to body positivity?
I didn't say subscribe to it, but that's social logic right now. Social logic says, currently 2025, that body count doesn't matter. Do you agree?
I don't know. I
Social
don't know.
logic.
I really don't know.
You don't know? What about
And also you also have to take into account that the people in my chat are around our age, if not older. So
they're
I
predominantly women though.
no, actually
I see
in
nothing
the
but
chat.
women in the comments.
Well, yeah,
Upset,
in the
mad as
chat, yeah.
hell, because I got
Watts,
an
Watts,
opinion.
how old are you? How old are you, Watts?
I'm 30.
32? 30? Okay.
You're
30.
30? Okay.
Yeah.
You have children or no?
No,
children.
not yet, not yet.
Not yet.
Married,
How
no
how
children.
long you've been married for?
It's coming up on 2 years on Valentine's Day.
Fire. Congrats to
2
you, brother.
years?
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I respect married men, I really do. I'm gonna keep it real, Joe. I respect married men. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man.
People make it seem like I just salute debauchery. No, I respect your wife. I respect women that get a husband. That's a big achievement. That's not a small achievement for a woman. And I would judge your wife as being a superior woman compared to a woman that's unmarried, no kids, and lived her life as a boss babe. I'm
So
gonna just
do
keep
you
it real.
respect the woman that got married, had kids, had them, and everything, and the man decided to do her dirty and just leave? Do you
If
respect
she's a
her?
victim, yes, I still
Okay.
respect.
I was
Okay.
just making sure.
I would
Yeah.
rate her higher than a single mom, someone that's just promiscuous. And
So you
thinking that
do
3 or
see
4 wives.
nuance.
That I was
Yes,
about to
I
say
do.
that. So you do
But
see
I said
nuance.
that earlier. I said, bro, roll back the tape. I said I'll take a single mom that's
Yeah.
intelligent, well-to-do over a girl that's dumb that has no kids. I've been said that,
Right.
and I'll do
Got
that
you.
9 out of 10 times.
And
I've
that was
been
the
said that.
okay. That's all. I'm sorry if
I've
that
been said
went
that though.
I'm
Yeah.
saying if that's what you said, if I missed it, I
I
apologize.
said the advice is only general, but you're right. We have to use that general advice and apply it to nuanced situations. Right? And that's what I'm trying to say. We have general information, but you know what I'm saying? That's the information we have, and we got to apply it to the nuance as best as we
That's
can.
why I love Shape. 'Cause Shape will be knowledgeable in regards to generalizations because it's never gray with him. It's either black or white. But I've learned to always look at certain situations now,
Mhm.
especially from this in the beginning, because I did make a video about single mothers, and the woman I'm with now actually saw that video after she Googled me, and she called me out on that. But I only made that video because of me watching the red pill content. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do the same content they're doing because to me it didn't sit right. So I apologized to her and I said, listen, I'll never say anything bad about single mothers ever again. And here we are. But I think a lot of the people in the red pill comment and the red pill community, they're really bagging on single mothers without even having any experience with them. They're just
So
saying something they heard from everyone else talking about it, like Fresh and Fit and these other major podcasts.
okay. So quick question, and I understand you. So Shape, earlier you said that a man basically should not he basically shouldn't change his opinion to basically appeal to a woman. So, Sar, let me ask you a question. Did your woman, did she change your way of thinking? Like, do you genuinely, um, after she gave you the constructive criticism, did you take a look within and you said, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said XYZ? Or did you take down that video just because she wanted you to?
No, the video is still up.
Oh, the video's still up.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh,
what happened?
damn. You booted him after that comment?
timing
I
is
didn't boot him.
crazy.
Damn.
I didn't boot him.
That
Watch, I
timing
gotta
is
watch
crazy.
what I say. Watch my
Oh, I got
I
kicked out.
didn't boot him. I didn't
The
boot him.
video-
I was
Watch, the
I was
minute you answered, Watch just booted you, bro. He was like, the hell with this dude. Yo.
I was asking a genuine question. I was
The video-
oh wait, he
the
joined
video is
back.
still
He
up.
joined back.
The video is still up, and
There he is.
that was one of the first videos I ever created.
Mhm.
But then I realized I don't want to follow suit like all these other guys because I thought back and I said single mothers were single-handedly the woman that I would call to bail me out of prison, the woman I would call if I needed money, because like I said, they would have done anything for me. Because I think one of the perks of dating a single mother as well is like Shape, you said they don't really have a lot of time to be dating all these other men. They don't have time to go to the club or to do all these things single women do. So most of their attention is going to be on you and how she can make you happy. And I think that's the major difference with dating these younger girls who don't have children compared to dating a woman who's a little bit older and she's experienced the game. She learned from her mistakes and she knows how to treat a man properly.
Or you can find a girl that never made those mistakes because she was raised to be a wife.
What if she
There is
made
It's
other
rare.
mistakes that makes her a shittier person?
It's very
All things
rare.
being equal,
In
all things being
America,
equal, bro. It's hard to talk about groups and these things without generalities. It's hard. We'll never
It's
get
not.
anywhere.
I mean, that's the. It's not hard. That's where conversations and truth comes out of. Not like
No, what I'm
this or
saying is
that.
hard. It's like how do you make medicine for humans if you got to account for all the various differences they have?
They have different medicines
How do
that
you
do
make
the same
headache
thing.
medicine? How do you make headache medicine that's generic enough? We talk about generals, even though we have everyone takes everyone. Bro, a broom is generic, a door is generic, right? Some people the door they don't fit in the door; they're too tall. Cars are generic. Some people are too big. That girl that went viral for not being able to fit in that lift. You know what I'm saying?
But none of this
That car wasn't
translates
designed
to
for someone her
dating.
size.
None of
But
this.
guess what? But guess what? They're still gonna build cars. They're still gonna build doorways. They're still gonna make generic drugs because we can't just say the hell with generalities because life is so nuanced. You guys want to get rid of generalities when we rely on blueprints, which are general. We rely on epidemiology studies, which are general. We rely on so much our traffic system, red and green light. You shouldn't run a red light in general, but if you're in Newark, you know what I'm saying? If you don't see anybody, run that light. In
But
general, you shouldn't. You know what I'm
but
saying?
but
People are
Shay,
way more complex than cars.
yes, I will say relationships are way more complex than cars and sometimes even medicine.
I don't think choosing a partner has to be that complex.
You don't think so?
Really?
Wait, time out. Shape, have you ever been in a relationship before? I'm
Never.
not trying to make.
I've never even got pussy before, bro.
Wait,
to the
hold
comments.
on. Wait, hold on.
Comments.
according to the comments.
Oh, according to the comments.
I
Oh,
never got
what
pussy
the
before. You should make green hat merch. So shout out to y'all. I'm glad you like the way I brand myself. Everyone's talking about my hat. I haven't heard everyone talk about your black hat, his black bandana. I'm the only one that people talk about their clothes. Shout out to me. I know how to market. I went to school for marketing. Thank you. You make me feel like I did a good job. I purposely wore a green hat. Now I know to keep wearing a green hat. So thank you so much, people. And,
Well, to be fair, I think that's the only distinguishable thing because you're just wearing a white shirt. So like they don't know. Like I don't know if they're familiar with your name at this point because I
they
wasn't
know
able
my
to.
name is Shape. They know it's Shape.
I
Y'all know,
forget.
think
I
my
totally forgot which
subscribers,
one I was
I'm
doing.
not saying my subscribers are going up since his live stream.
I'm surprised that you say that dating shouldn't be complex though. You feel like it's
I don't think. I think it's very simple.
Really?
So what people say, right? Here's the simple dating advice for people.
Mm-hmm.
Graduate college. Don't have it. I mean, graduate high school. Don't have any kids outside of a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And get married after you graduate college. It's very simple. It's not. It's not a book.
Well,
not that
yeah,
long.
but
I feel like
Larry Elder. Larry Elder's the one that's I'm gonna use another authority. So I appeal to authority because I like experts. Larry Elder said that himself. Who, by the way, is a brilliant man who had a very successful talk show in California for over the last 20 years. Very brilliant black man. If you guys don't know Larry Elder, I think you should do some research on him. Very smart man. And he talks about a lot of these dating issues. And he made that comment. He gave a very simple, you know what I'm saying, solution to a lot of our dating woes.
Okay. So your take on relationships, I mean, it's not surprising that it's that black and white, but I feel like there are a lot of things that you miss because it's not that simple. I can tell you there were a lot of things within my own relationship that weren't simple. A lot of conversations that you don't even think you're going to have until they come up. You know? Like relationships really are not that simple because it's involving two people. Both of you have
But y'all make it seem like everything's so hard to understand. Does anyone read? Am I the only one that read books?
No. I'm not saying.
Question: does anyone read?
Yes. Okay, I read. Okay. But hold on.
Are books so nuanced?
What do you?
So
sometimes
when books write a book, when they write a point,
uh-huh.
when there's a point written in a book, is it so nuanced where they can't even express their point without making all these modifications for it, or they can't say the word? we can't even start to think if we don't have any
I think
base
thinking
presumptions.
stops when you stop it at a base level of this or that, or this is how this should go and nothing else matters. I think that's you miss so much and make far more mistakes. Like I think you can make a lot of mistakes when you just stop it at go when you gave the life advice like school, kids and all that, and marriage. It's like that's life advice, but we are talking about dating, and generally yes, those things are good for you. But
Right.
when you're talking about
But I
dating,
said, do you ever
dating
read
is
books though?
way
But
more
there,
complex
I understand that, but
than
there's books on complex. There's books on very. Do you agree that there's books on very complex subjects?
yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of books on relationships, and you know what they say in the books in the very beginning of the book. What do they say in the very beginning of all these books?
I don't generally read
I,
dating books.
I don't know. I don't know which books you're referring to.
And
In front of most books, law books, finance books, there's one statement that's said in front of most of these books.
what? Don't judge a book by its cover.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. So I read a lot of books. I see this one pattern in a lot of books, and a lot of books ultimately come off as. Did I freeze?
No.
no, you're good.
Frozen? Okay. A lot of books come off as general information. One of the things they say in this book can account for all situations. They'll say that for every book.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That just sounds like a book that's trying to sell you on something that
no, they're not.
that doesn't sound like an
They're not.
objective book.
Dr. Orion Tarabin from the YouTube channel Psych Hacks. Has anyone ever seen his channel Psych Hacks? No one? Okay.
Not familiar.
Okay. Well, he has almost 1 million subscribers. He's a psychologist. He talks about dating. He wrote a book called The Value of Others. I read that book cover to cover. I'm going on probably like my 7th time reading it. I love it. Great book. I love to read books. Not only do I reread them because I might miss something. But in that book, in the beginning of the book, he talks about how this is somewhat general information. This can't account for everybody, or I wouldn't be able to write this book.
People
What I'm
can
trying
write
to
a book
say
on
is,
whatever they
if we
want.
remove generalities, we won't be able to think because we can't make any basic
Wait.
presumptions about any information.
Okay, so if everything is so simple, why do you need to read books to understand the concept of dating or anything like that? If everything is like it's real simple and it's like we don't need to find nuance, what's the point of picking up a book?
I'm glad you said that.
It's a great question.
Man, this is now it's getting good, right? You put me on the spot. I love it. I'm on the spot now. You guys are ready? The green hat is on the spot now. So look, why read books? That was your argument.
I
right?
know now why read books.
No. Yeah.
Why read books on dating if it's so simple and not complex?
Because even though it's simple, you might not know it. I know how to box. Boxing is actually very simple, but you're not familiar with it.
But wait, hold on. But if there are things that you do not know, that would imply that it's not as simple as you thought, then, correct?
No, I'm a boxing coach, right? I'm telling you, boxing's simple. Most people don't know how to throw a punch, but if I take the time to show you how to throw a punch, throwing a punch is very simple. But the reason why you don't know how to throw a punch is not because it's complex, it's because you never learned it. Something that you don't know doesn't mean it's complex. Just because you don't know something. There's things that we know, the things that we don't know, the things that we don't know that we don't know. And there's things that we know that we don't know, right? You ever heard those phrases, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you ask me a question. Why read a book on relationships if they're simple? Because even though they're simple, that does not imply that you actually know it. Driving a car is simple, but some people don't know how to drive a car because they never learned. Does anyone think driving a car is one of the most complex things a person can do?
But you don't.
But you can't hop into a car and just drive it without doing the research first. That's basically
why
what
I'm
we're
saying. This is why you read a book, because even though it's simple, you still read about it.
But
and when you go to driving school, you read. They give you a pamphlet to read first about basic rules. Do they not? It's not a thick book too. It's very thin. Even though driving is more complex than this particular book, they give you thin guidelines.
And then you do
we
it,
wouldn't
you
have
get
any
experience.
if there was no
you get
generalities,
experiences and you learn that there's nuances in dancing, in driving, and boxing.
Nuances. There's not only nuances.
Nobody's arguing
that.
No,
I'm not. We're not arguing that.
But every time you attack generalities, you you're almost suggesting eliminate the generalities for nuance. And I'm trying to tell you, there's not only nuance, and there's no books that could address all the nuances in a subject. So they really say, okay, this book, the presumption is it's for this type of person. Each book. I read a YouTube book before. I'm sure Watts might read some YouTube books. Damn, you booted out Czar again. I'm sure Watt reads some.
Oh no, he's still there.
I'm playing. I'm sure Watts. There's a great book called YouTube Secrets by Sean Cannell from Think Media, right? He talks about like in this particular chapter, this is advanced. So if you are not, let's say, 2,000 subscribers or more on YouTube, you shouldn't read this because it's not going to apply to you. You understand what I'm trying to say? He could not write that book unless he addressed the fact that this does not apply to everybody. What he's saying is only going to apply to the people who are in the top 10% of YouTubers. You get what I'm trying to say? So, this idea that we can't have a discussion about something because there's nuances is actually not true. Most conversations happen even though nuance exists. Generalities and nuance exist together. And every time we make this argument, oh, you can't generalize, you can't generalize, you can't generalize, right? We'll fail to realize that humans make snap judgments just the way we are, and we have to because we won't always have all the information. If you like the example I gave, and I think it's a great analogy. If there's an intruder at your door at 3 a.m. in the morning, you don't have all the information, but you got to make a decision. So you can't sit and wait. Time is limited, information is limited, and you still got to make a decision. And that's life. Limited time, you know what I'm saying? Limited information, but you got to make a choice. When you're at Walmart and you see 10 different fucking choices of bubble gum, you're not going to sit and read all the bubble gum's ingredients, go out and look up all their companies, see if their companies were racist or not. You have limited information, limited time, and so you got to make a decision. So you have shortcuts.
You know what?
This is why we use shortcuts. All these things are allow humans to behave, because if we dealt with the fact that there's an infinite amount of precepts that exist in the world, we won't be able to make a decision. And this is why generality exists, because you got to make a decision.
I was gonna. It's just funny. It's a funny thing I thought about one day. People say like you only got so much time in life, but even though people say life is short, it's like the longest thing you'll ever do, which is funny. But nonetheless,
Pretty ironic.
all of that is still negating how complex dating could be, because you could do all this stuff to prepare your own self for life and what you want out of life and stuff like that. But when you take into account somebody else with their own life and their own experiences and their own faults and their own imperfections and all that stuff, is no book that's going to really tell you what's right and wrong. Now, I agree, and most would agree, there's general things you can follow to better your odds in life and get you where you want to be. Nobody's negating that, and we agree. But that's why I kept saying.
But every time I bring up the general stuff, you condemn it.
Because I'm not condemning it. I'm saying we can't have a good. I'm not done. I'm saying we can't have a good conversation if we be like, well, generally, you should wait till you get married to have sex and have a kid. Mm-hmm. We all agree on that. There's nothing. That's not even how life works at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're talking about dating other people and heuristics for choosing those people, which I think, again, it's about picking good heuristics. And the argument is the single mom thing isn't a good one. It's not that you can't be, like I said, you could just tell people go to college, get a job, don't have sex, all that. Yeah, that's cool. We all agree on that stuff. But that's not real life. And real life is about nuance. That's where shit is interesting.
And it's also about generalities too.
That's not where you figure out things for real in real life, by using generalities.
Okay, so listen, like I said, I'm a licensed firearm owner.
I'll use your analogy. You say there's general medicines. If somebody be like, I got a headache, you be like, get an aspirin. And then the next question might be, well, which one? And then you tell them, well, I've done this and I felt this. I read this about this and this is what it does to me. You try different things to figure out what works for you. Some things you might be allergic to. Some things might work fast. Some things might work slow. Some things might not work at all. But you don't be like, aspirin, all right, I could just take an aspirin, problem solved. That's really not how life works at all.
So you think life is too complex to understand? I
didn't say too complex. I just said
or too complex to live? I don't.
I didn't say it's too complex to live.
Or too complex to make a dating decision? I don't.
I didn't say that.
No,
you keep saying too.
It's not. We aren't saying things are too complex.
You said
we are just
nuance, right? Nuance is a complexity. You said we can't go over the generalities because there's nuance. Well, let me tell you something. Nuance is a multiplier and it's a complexity. There's two things at once. Because things stack up on top of each other. It's not linear, right? You do one thing bad in your life, it could cost you the rest of your life. Yeah. So there's magnitude within your choices, right? And that's why I use jail time. If you're in jail, that prevents you from doing a lot of stuff. That's why it's a magnifier, and you know what I'm saying? It's a complexity. So is it one simple factor about somebody? Yes, but it's a major factor.
There's
When
no
you when
there's
when you take
there's
a when you take a when you get graded on a test, they're gonna tell you we're gonna weigh this 20%, this 10%, but this thing here right here is gonna be 70. Hold on, this
there's
thing right here is gonna be 70%. So if I said, all right, if you want to pass the test, you got to make sure you got the part that's 70% of the
again,
grade down.
and I need you to address this. Where are you basing that off of? Is it just how you feel?
No, I
What
don't,
objective
because you keep
measure?
talking about.
What
So the difference
objective
between me
measure
and you
is there to just solely being a single mom?
be,
That's
so
blanket.
I noticed that you use the word feelings a lot. I'm a man. I talk about the way I think. I think the way I feel is irrelevant.
That's fine too.
I think the way I feel is. I think what I
But
feel
you
is
agree that
irrelevant.
what you think about this isn't based in a fact.
But I think it's significant that
of
you said,
matter.
what do you feel? I think that's a very significant difference between
Okay, you
me,
can
my
use
argument.
think.
I think, I'm telling you, I think there's a very, big difference in arguments when you ask a question, what you feel compared to what you think. How I feel is subjective. How I think is objective. And
No.
that's the difference.
Why is what you think
How I
objective?
feel is not subjective.
I said, why do you think what you think is objective? Like no, it's subjective about how you feel, but what is it based on?
Because you keep talking about, I don't talk in this. This is why we have different conclusions, because I don't work in the realm of feelings.
Okay, regardless of what you want to, if you want to say think, I'm not against saying that. I'm
I don't,
saying,
but
what
there's
is it based
you know how you
off
said
of?
hypocrisy was a specific term and you proved me wrong?
I'm not, yeah, but I'm using
No,
your
but
term.
okay, just follow me. You know how you said hypocrisy, you call it, and I was like, no, it had nothing to do with moral. You said, yes, it does have something to do with morality. And Watts looked it up, it has something to do with morality. So hypocrisy is specific to moral, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. When we're talking about these subjects here, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying things that are specific to thinking, not feeling.
Okay, so I'm telling you, I'm asking you, since you think that way, what is that thought based on?
I told you, I personally, I believe that there's right and wrong. I'm Christian. There's ethics. Christians have ethics. Watts, do we have ethics
Of
as
course.
Christians? I said Watts.
Of
Yeah,
course.
his
Yeah,
camera his camera
y'all
froze.
can hear me.
Yeah.
I'm frozen for some
Yeah,
reason. I have no idea
that's
why.
it. I'm looking, I'm like, his lips are not moving. Pause. We have ethics. We believe there's right and wrong. We don't believe there's nuance to right and wrong. Some people do. That's some people's moral code, that there's no rights, there's no wrongs. For us, we believe there's right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, even Christianity is kind of black and white. It's not as nuanced as people think it is. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't come from the standpoint of, there's some things, if I feel a certain way, it's right. If I feel another way, it's wrong. I don't believe that. There's things that are objectively wrong, and there's things that are objectively right. It's what we believe. And
Okay.
so that's where my moral compass is. If you want to understand me, understand how I arrived at the conclusions I came to, I'm trying to tell you it's based on the way I think. I choose to think objectively. Do I have
Wait,
feelings?
what do you
Yes.
mean by think objectively? What do you mean when you say that? Because you can have a thought, but that
So you know what a
doesn't-
bias is?
but that doesn't have
You know what a
anything to
bias
do
is?
with objectivity, because you think it is
You know what a
automatically
bias is?
objective is.
No,
Of course, yeah.
well, okay. So my aim in life is to think objectively.
What does that mean? I need to
That
know what you
means
mean
to
by that.
remove biases, not to favor something disproportionate to its actual value. In such a way, it'll be considered unfair. If you look at biases is about disproportionately favoring something.
That's
If I'm
not
black,
what objective, but that's
that's
separate than
subjective.
objectivity.
I'm saying subjectivity. It is subjective. If I say I like black women because I'm black, that's a black bias. If someone likes white people because they're white, that's a white bias. And some people like smart people because they're smart, that's a smart bias. Women have a height bias. Women prefer men that are taller. That's a height bias.
real quick, wrap up your last thoughts, and then we're gonna get ready to end the debate. And there's a few super chats that I need to read.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm trying to say is I think the biggest difference between me and Logix, and possibly me and Watts, is I don't express myself in these debates based on how I feel. I might feel one way. You know what I'm saying? That's subjective to me. My mom was a single mom. She's not anymore. She's married. But my mom was a single mom when my dad met her. You feel me? So my bias could be, oh man, I favor single moms because my mom's one. Or I could just tell you objectively what's true about single moms, regardless of the fact that my mom's a single mom.
And that's what I was saying. I want to know what's subjective. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
What's objective about
That's
single
subjective.
moms?
As in, even though I'm black, I could call black
objective.
people out on their
You said-
bullshit. Objective means that even though I'm black, I could call black people out on their bullshit. Even though Watts is my friend, I could call Watts out on his bullshit. The bias
That's
would be you're my friend,
no.
so I would
I know.
favor you and your behavior, or I could be objective and say, regardless of your
I'm
behavior and regardless of our friendship, I'm gonna judge your behavior despite that.
it's about what's objective about the single mom. I don't think what I'm saying is I'm trying to understand what's objective about them. There's no data or any proof of anything, which is I'm not using this word on you, but this is why I said is this based on how you feel because but again I'm not saying
I don't feel no ways
no,
about single moms.
I'm not trying to retread that conversation.
I don't have.
I was explaining to you why I used the word, but I'm saying like you're saying you're thinking objectively, but I don't know what the objectivity is to single moms because it's not based in anything outside of a bias or
What's women's objectivity to height?
that is that's not objective.
So height's not objective?
No, yeah, the height in itself is objective, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So why do you?
But how
why
she
do you need,
feels,
why do you
how
need,
she reacts to
why do you
height
need
is not
somebody
objective.
Why do women want a man taller than you? Answer in the chat. Women, why do y'all want a man taller than you?
What does that have to do with what I'm trying to say?
Let me make the argument, motherfucker. You gonna find out. Open your ears. You gonna find out. You know I've been talking. You know I'm gonna tell you. You know I'm gonna tell you. Do women prefer someone that's tall or short? Yes or no? On average, in general. How about this? In general, do women prefer someone taller than them? In general, or we can't generalize that because life is so nuanced. We actually can't determine if women prefer men that are taller. In general.
It honestly, it depends, man. It
All right, so
depends.
that's
It
why. So to
depends.
wrap up the argument, why we disagree, because I think you got things. Some things are too complex to talk about them.
I
Such
don't
as single
think I,
moms,
I don't. Okay,
and
so
I
wait,
think
wait,
it's
wait.
very simple to talk about them. And I think
No, I hear you, but let me just say this. I don't think your question is complex. I will admit anecdotally, like I know so many women that don't necessarily care about height. Like I know a lot personally.
But if you had to get a test, if someone gave you a test, $1 million test, you're gonna win $1 million. They're gonna ask you these 3 girls. They're gonna point out 3 random girls. You know, very limited information about them. Do these girls care about a man's height?
I mean,
And you
yes,
gotta answer them.
yes,
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta
yes,
make it
I
seem
would
like, oh no, I
assume.
would not know what to do. I can't win.
No, I didn't
It's
say that.
so
I'm just,
nuanced. I would not know where to
I
go.
didn't say,
But
I
that's
did
what you
not
guys are
say
acting
that.
like. Everything's so nuanced. Women in general prefer men that are taller. Men in general prefer women that are not single moms. It just is what it is. We could try to pander to them and make them feel better, like the female podcasts do, or we can tell the truth. Listen, man, you being a single mom doesn't add value to your bucket. It don't make your resume any sweeter.
All right, real quick. Yo, Shape, let me just say this. These super chats by Chris are just totally aimed at you. So I'm not doing it on purpose.
I did you a favor, bro.
I promise you, I'm not doing this on purpose. Let's see. Okay, I already read that one. And then after the one that I read by Chris, he says, let me explain. You have to go in expecting to get hurt, because people who generally matter to you can hurt you, but you have to take that risk, because if you aren't willing to take risk and experience life and all its nuance and instead live in generalizations and preconceived notions. And then he says you simply closing your own Jesus Christ. Damn it, Chris, grammar. You simply closing your own to something that can be the better for you and someone who truly loves and matters to you. So basically he's saying he feels like you're closing off options if you don't consider all of your options, basically.
I want the person I want is very specific.
I hear.
That's
yeah.
what I want. I think Watts chose his wife. I think Watts' wife. I don't know her from a can of paint, but this is a generalization. I'm just generalizing based on what I know about Watts.
Mm-hmm.
I think he handpicked his wife very specifically. She has some skills that are superior to other women. I'm gonna just make that assumption. I could be really wrong. Maybe you just chose her and it didn't matter who it was. But I'm gonna assume that you chose someone that if you met someone else, you wouldn't be married right now.
Nah, I chose my wife because she can cook in the goddamn kitchen. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I am joking.
Me for wanting a woman of value. There's a lot of women of value. I'm not saying there's no women of value. Don't condemn me for wanting a woman of value. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
Oh man, no, you're not wrong on that. Shout out to my wife. Yes, she most definitely did have qualities that other women did not have, of course.
And they're obvious, right? They're not like you gotta dig deep for it. They're like
Yeah,
on
yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking
They're
surface.
yes.
A
I'm not going to
fucking
disagree
you
with
can
you on
be
that.
dumb as hell and you can see, damn, what Watt's wife? Obvious choice.
Yeah,
Or it's gonna be like, yo, gee, why did he marry her? I can't figure it out. I spend mad time around them. I have no idea why he pick her out of the group. And that's all I want. So yeah, so people try to condemn me for being a certain way. No, I'm trying to get to where Watts is at, where you meet someone that hits some specific points that makes them exceptional. That's all
yo,
it is.
yeah, and I mean, look, if I'm being honest, also at the same time, I I had to get to a point because Sandra said it best in the chat, and I agree with this because I said this before. I had to get to a point where I was deserving of that also. Because before my wife, I mean I told this story many a time, so I'm not gonna tell it again. But I was messing with women that were not up to her standards. And I was just trying to like find myself and all that other bullshit. And I wasn't deserving of what she was able to give to me. And once I cut out the bullshit, it all worked out for the best. But with that being said, let me read the last two super chats. This is the last one towards you, Chris, and then this is a question for everybody at the end.
Chris,
I mean, Shape. Excuse me. This is from Chris, aimed at you, Shape. It says, Shape, you're too safe, sir. All these generalizations and preconceived notions show to me you're scared of being hurt. You want to settle for the layup to tie the game when you can win it with a 3-pointer. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, I was about to say damn.
I don't even feel like that was an attack. I just felt like that was an opinion. I mean, look, you're allowed to disagree. It's a free country. You get what I'm trying to say? I think when you listen to these conversations, you got to try to understand where someone's coming from. I think I've understood where you guys come from. You come from the place of things are nuanced, right?
Yeah.
You go from feelings, and I go from generalities, and I go from the way I think. And I think that's a big difference. And it's obvious to me why we ended up in different conclusions. Because I don't think dating's so hard I don't think it's so nuanced, so complex. I don't. I think it's actually very simple.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm 37, no kids.
Wait. Okay, real quick, and please, we don't have to make this long. But you said you feel like relationships aren't as complicated as everybody makes it seem. But you said you're 37 and single with no kids, right? So with you not having kids and not being in a relationship and you being 37, wouldn't that imply that relationships are a little more complicated, or you're just like waiting for this specific woman?
No, I think so to be a superior man, if you read the book Superior Man by David Data, you guys go to my channel, call me Shape. I have a link in my affiliate link in all my videos. I get a little commission if you guys buy the book, but I really believe it's a great book. Chapter 7 says your purpose becomes before your woman, or it comes before relationships. And I believe there's actually morality in that. I think what Adam did, one of the two things that Adam did was wrong was he changed his mind to appease his woman, and then he put his woman before his purpose, God being his purpose, and then changing his mind, meaning that he went against God. You get what I'm trying to say? So I think as a man, even towards women, if I want to be the most valuable to a woman, right, I pursue my purpose. If I want to cheapen myself, weaken myself, I'd pursue her. Because like I said, time is limited. And so while I'm trying to chase after cooter, right, I could be trying to build something. And that's what I've been doing. I've been building, and to be honest with you, realistically, I wanted to be a millionaire before I had children, and I'm on route to do that.
All right, so we have one last I have to read this one last super chat, and we're going to end it with this just a real quick response from all four of us. All right, so I am Courtney Michelle has super chatted $4.99. Thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats. I appreciate y'all, and I apologize that I'm frozen. I'll become unfrozen in a second. This says a lawmaker wants to make it illegal for men to ejaculate if it's not for the purpose of conception. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I disagree.
Damn, that's a crazy ass question. Wait, what?
Yeah, no, that is actually real.
And how do you enforce that? You're gonna
no, you can't. You obviously
so
cannot.
How do you gonna make sure I didn't jack off this morning?
Right.
Yeah, I heard about that
how
too.
How are you gonna prosecute me after I do it?
Right. This is one of those
crime of masturbation.
Right. I think this is something that we all can agree on
What if
because
it's a wet dream? What if it's a wet
Yeah,
control it?
yeah. You're a sleeping criminal. You're a sleeping
That's it.
criminal. Yeah, yeah.
yo, you know what's crazy? I've never had one before, bro. Ever.
They're not great.
Ever.
They're not great. They're not great.
Ever.
They're not great.
I wouldn't
Ever.
say you missing anything.
You're not
Yeah,
missing
no,
anything.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I
It's-
genuinely don't
That's
want
when
it.
we feel like women, when we have just like unexpected discharges. You know what I'm saying? That's where you feel like a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Oh,
damn,
yo,
man.
yo, let me
I'm about to bleach my
The only
clothes.
upside
Let
is
me-
usually you feel like you're getting some in the dream. Usually you're getting some.
Yeah, yeah. In a dream, yeah. No, in a dream, you
Let
busted
me-
some tuds. You busted
Yo,
some tuds.
let me end this before everybody comes with torches and pitchforks because Shape said we know how women feel like. Oh no.
Hey, you see,
no.
Chantel Vanessa said
Involuntary
she had
discharge.
a super chat. I don't know if you called it.
Chantel, my bad, Chantel. My apologies, Chantel. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat. She says, I get it. Guy in the green hat believes single mothers should be punished for their past decisions and not have a second chance at a loving relationship.
No, I don't believe that. If I had a daughter or a cousin or a sister or a relative that was a single mom, I would just tell her that you got to make, in general, single moms are like short men. They really are. I mean, that's the equivalent. Men prefer women without kids and women prefer tall men. So single moms are the short men. I don't think short men deserve nothing, but they got to understand a lot of short men, they compensate for it, right? They get their money up, they get their body up. I know a lot of short kings. Their body's right, their mind's right. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to understand that the world's not fair. There's a pretty bias, there's a tall bias, there's a racial bias. There's a lot of biases. And so I think you should jump off a building because life is not perfect and there's challenges? Absolutely not. I think you should live despite the challenges.
You can always find a way to stand out from everyone else. You can always work on yourself and find ways to stand out where people do look at you like a gem.
Yep. Sounds good. But all right, guys. Yo, we have been talking for 3 hours, dog. Look, I appreciate everybody that pulled up in the chat. Guys, Shape, Czar, I appreciate you guys. I know this is it's not an easy conversation, obviously, but it was a fun debate, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for pulling up. Logix, appreciate you, bro. We most definitely got to do something like this again. More collaborations are on the way, hopefully. But yeah, make sure you guys check out their channels. Thank you.
Respect
I appreciate
you,
y'all.
Watts. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Take care, Watts. Take care, Logix.
All right, you
Have a
too.
good
You
one.
too, bro.
All right,
Take care,
peace.
guys.